Hey, good morning and welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we're live on a Saturday morning ready to give you guys some feedback to your feedback. That's right, Saturday is our feedback show. You guys have left comments throughout the week through various means, all in the show notes, and we are going to reply and let you know what we think about the things that you think about what we said, that we thought about the things that we had said to think about. All right. The official weapon of the show is
folding chair.
An unofficial sport,
bullet ball.
A bullet ball. Extreme. There are also people that take the time out of their busy schedules to just drop some money in us, on us, in us, around us. They just put the money anywhere. We take it. And we like to give them a shout out.
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlotte's own Rod and Karen. We welcome the good folks who tied to the Black Guy Tips.
That's right. New dough for some new hoes. Let's go. Alexis H, Marlon B, Wanga from Down Under, Tiffany B, Alfonso M, YRD Design, Palmetto Stone Magic, David C, Kyle K, James C, the C's is in here this week, James and Jasmine J. Thank you everybody that took the time out to say what's that behind your ear and then put out some money.
Thank you.
Now for everybody's most anticipated part of the feedback show. Did we get listener reviews or do you get more commercials?
It's a game every week.
We got a lot of listener reviews, a lot of 5-star listener reviews.
Let's go.
You understood the assignment.
They was like, we tired of these goddamn commercials.
You're either going to get commercials for us, which is what I call these 5-star reviews, or you're going to get commercials from us, which is whatever them people in the ad decide to put in that spot.
Whatever AI decides to put in your algorithm.
All right, so here we go. No ads today except for us. Emotionally grounding, 5 stars from Katie, RN, who says, love you both. A regular 5-star review is well deserved all the time. Learned about you from Foolishness Fridays and really look forward to both of your perspectives, humor, and intelligence. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
T.15 says, the best 5 stars. I learn, I laugh, I love. Thank you for being you. Heart emoji.
Oh,
that's what we do.
Learn,
okay.
Laugh, love. That's sweet.
Yeah. Okay, I'll get that on the sign. 5 stars says Chill in Oakland, who says, I'm just here so we don't get fined. Thanks for keeping me entertained at work. Listen, we'll take any reason to keep you don't want the commercials, then we get the 5 stars. We take it. Updated review, 5 stars from It's Me Fink, who says, long time listener of the show here. I like that Rod and Karen mix in new segments with the long standing favorites. Keep doing what you do. We will.
Thank you.
My favorite podcast, says Ebony Esquire, who says, the Blackout is my favorite podcast. I like it so much that I borrowed my husband's Mac to write a review because I couldn't do it on my poor person's PC. It's the only podcast that I auto download and move to the top of the queue for every new episode they drop. They can make me laugh until I cry and then cry until I laugh, especially with the politics till we get mad segment, which is the only political commentary I can stomach right now. Girl, me too. I love I love their banter, and they are a couple goals. Please get that relationship advice show up and running. I'm a premium subscriber, but you don't have to be to enjoy hours of amazing world-class content. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, sweetie.
I'm still very hesitant to do relationship advice, mostly just because I recognize how different Karen and our relationship is to most people, and I don't know that my advice would really apply to a lot of people. And I think once you get into the advice game, it's kind of like a weird slippery slopes because people write you about stuff, but then it's like, are you even getting the full picture?
Yes, pieces of it is missing.
Yeah,
you know, they're only telling you their version.
And then, like, ultimately, I mean, it's something we obviously could think about doing or whatever, but like, ultimately, with a lot of this stuff, it's like, it's really just more about the person telling you the decisions they're comfortable with in their life. Because I'm not an expert on dating or dating people that aren't Karen. So,
right, and dating people that aren't Rod.
Yeah,
right.
and I don't know, like, just what it's different stuff people put up with that is very normalized, and I feel like a weirdo sometimes. Like, I was watching the video of Sha'Carri physically assaulting her boyfriend in the airport.
Oh no!
Yeah, and then the police came and she said that she told like 3 different stories in like a couple minutes. It was, I don't know what's true, I don't know what's not. I'm not like, that's not my point. But in there, she's talking about like, well, he first of all, he was assaulting me, and they're like, no, we have tape. And, well, why'd you call the police on me? You didn't need to do that. He's like, I didn't call the police. And they're like, no one had to call the police. You were seen in public physically assaulting this man. And you can see on the tape, he wasn't swinging at her back. He does everything to de-escalate, tries to walk away. She just kept pushing him and hitting him. And then she then goes, well, I can show you my phone where he hit me or something like that. And he, and at no point was he like, like acting volatile or whatever. And I'm not saying she's lying. I'm just saying, like, the fact that it's normalized enough that they put hands on each other. Like, the best case scenario, I guess, quote unquote, is she's telling the truth and they both be putting hands on each other.
That's a problem.
The worst case scenario is that she's abusive and then she lied to the police to try to get this dude fucked up or whatever, for whatever reason. She lied to the police and she's the abuser. There's no good scenario in there.
No.
But I saw people like commenting on it back and forth and stuff, and I just kept thinking how it's very normalized for people to have this fights and this physicality sometimes, or escalation, and sometimes, like, people think that's very normal.
Yes,
and
they
so
do.
When it comes to like relationship advice stuff, I think we would just sound out of touch, because like we don't, not, and I'm not just talking about physical violence, but we don't raise our voice at each other. We don't put hands on each other. Obviously, we don't cuss each other out. We don't disrespect each other out. We don't get angry and then it's like I get to call Karen a bitch because I'm mad at her,
Right.
which is something that people do all the time. It's very common. It's not even like a deal breaker. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I was upset earlier, and then you're supposed to like understand and forgive them. And so anyway, all that stuff to say, I don't know that I'm in touch enough with how most people think relationships should work to be necessarily putting my foot into the waters.
Yeah, and also what I realized, particularly as I got old, as I've getting older, when you talk to older people, a lot of them dealt with it when they were younger. And, kind of as they got older, for some people, they grew out of it. Some people didn't. But for a lot of people, they think that those things are normal for various different reasons. And, like I said, we would definitely sound out of touch, because I'm like, I love you. You love me. You are my safe space. Like, my relationship should be a safe space for me personally. And so, people deal and put up with various different things because people's personalities and all types of things. So yeah, when I talk to people, sometimes I sound like we sound like we're crazy. Like, anytime people are introduced to us for the first time and they realize we're husband and wife, and they realize we do a podcast, the very first thing that comes out their mouth, I can't do one with my husband or my wife or my spouse or my other person, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that's a common thing, and a lot of people are shocked and surprised when we tell people we don't fuss, we don't scream, we don't yell. I am an adult. My ears work perfectly fine. I can hear you and you can hear me, type of thing. I don't have to raise my voice to prove my point to you, and if I have to, I personally am not going to be with you if I ever get to the point where I feel like I need to be physically violent. We will no longer be together. But that's just me, because I'm at a point now in my life where I do have standards. I'd rather be alone and by myself than to be in a miserable fucking relationship with somebody that abuses me or I abuse them. I'd rather be alone.
Yeah, like I said, I just, and I think it just comes off harsh and judgmental to people that's going through shit. it's just my standards. It's just my preference. And honestly, it shouldn't really govern anything by you. I think people look at other people and go, I'll just copy that blueprint. But a lot of times it's bigger than just, copy and paste. It's temperament. It's a bunch of other stuff that you have to deal with. And honestly, to be fair, I truly don't know what's going to work for anybody. There's so many relationships I see where I'm like, oh, okay. Like, if they found a way to be happy with that, then they found a way to be happy with that. So all you're really going to learn is my hang-ups and picadillos. And I don't feel like telling the world that shit, because people are going to write in with, like, how you deal with a threesome, so, how do you, what do you do when she been cheating on you with your brother? It's like, I don't know these answers, and I don't want to know. Idea. I don't even really want to think about those answers.
Right?
All right. Back to the 5-star reviews. This podcast is big and good.
That's hilarious.
Let's be honest. These are troubling times we're living in. Chickens are dying every day at churches, Popeyes, and Kentucky Fried Chicken. I, for one, am grateful for the energy and insight provided by Rod and Karen as they tackle the issues of the day. I feel secure in saying that you will too. Do you truly want a hot dog with everything? You won't know until you listen. 1 million tipping Americans pack approve the content of this message. That's from Ernest.com. Thank you, Ernest. That's hilarious.
That is hilarious.
I'm doing my homework. Your mama to you says, I refuse to get fussed at on Saturday feedback show, so I'm refreshing my latest review. These niggas are the hardest working and funniest in the game. If you disagree, fight your mother. Love Rod and Queen Karen down. # Tipper for life. Oh, thank you, your mama to you.
Thank you.
LGZIAB her 7 says, my people doing the most, 5 stars, consistently great. Thank you. And the last one is from Santos, who says, seriously amazing podcast. Rod and Karen are awesome. Found this podcast after the hosts were guests on the Dear Prudie podcast. Oh, that was a fun one.
That was fun.
We had so much time. So much fun. I love the insight and humorous takes on that episode and wanted to hear more of their content. Yeah, if you want to hear us give relationship advice, we gave some on the Dear Prudie podcast. That was fun.
That was really fun.
Yeah, we got to do the fun and serious and all that stuff. So I started listening to the Blackout Test. This podcast is so good. Their political commentary is thoughtful, nuanced, and accessible to all audiences. But the main reason I love this podcast is because Rod and Karen are incredibly good at comedy. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And it took me a while, and I am completely embracing it. No matter what my comedian mind says, I am funny. In fact, I am very funny. I'm hilarious. But sometimes I get in my mind because I compare myself to like professional comedians. I'm like, well, I don't stand on stage and tell jokes, but it's not that. It's just the fact that if you're funny, regardless of if you're on stage or not.
They are both just as good, if not better, than professional stand-up comics.
Oh,
they are quick-witted. They have great comedic timing. They play off each other's banter very well. Their humor keeps the show flowing. I come for the thoughtful political commentary, and I stay for the jokes that slay. Guess the Race is my favorite segment, followed by Politics Till We Get Mad. I'm so grateful I found this show and will absolutely continue being a dedicated listener. Thanks for making this content. Thank you. Oh. Damn, see, this is why I'll be talking about the 5-star reviews, and I'll be like, man, please go ahead, because what a great way to start a podcast. Now we got to get into all the comments. It's like, you forgot to cross the T and you didn't put a comma before this. And what about the butts that got this? Like we about to get into all that, but this is like such a fun way to start the flow.
Yes. And also thank you, baby, for talking about the Guess the Race and things like that. Because I think people had wrote in about Roger like modifying it and things like that, and Roger was like, "Nope, I'm just gonna read what the words is on here, and whatever happens." So you're one person who enjoy. You're not the only person, but you're one person that wrote in that enjoys the format as it is. And
no notes,
and it's actually fun because like Roger saying, you can read it as is, and it's a twist, and I be just as wrong as to come because I don't know.
Episode 3138, the Conspiracy Slippery Slope, was a feedback episode. Classic R&B lover beats everyone to the punch.
What?
Hi, Rod and Karen. Here's my addition to the Politics Until You Get Mad segment. I went to find out, well, it's Politics Till We Get Mad. I don't know if y'all might be mad from the start. Y'all might have a better tolerance. It's till we get fed up. I went to find out where the next COVID booster will be available. I did do this around the time each year because I'm mid-50s age teacher with a pre-existing condition. I imagine my surprise when my pharmacist confirmed that a booster is scheduled to come. That a booster is scheduled to come.
Okay.
Then don't know when, because it's a release date has yet to be provided. I was then informed that due to the changes made by this administration of racist, classist nightmares, people under 65 will no longer qualify to receive the COVID booster. I then asked about pre-existing conditions. Naturally, these overriding qualifiers have yet to be revealed. I then questioned how much the booster would cost if I chose to get out of pocket, and again was informed that they have asked, but the information has not been released to doctors and pharmacists. Right. I guess the decision has been made that if we are not young and strong enough to be enslaved, we can just be killed off. That's gonna be extremely interesting because I just went to the doctor like yesterday, and my boosters are like, I'm all caught up. I think, we got one like a few months back or whatever, earlier this year for sure. And they logged that. So she was like, oh, you already got your booster. And she was like, I wouldn't get another one until like October when they released the update or whatever.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
We like to right before the start of the hornet season.
And she was saying how like recently she's gotten a few people that got COVID, but she hadn't had many at all this summer. And she was like, and normally you get a surge in the summer, and they're not really seeing a huge surge, at least anecdotally in her practice.
Right.
But she was like, older people have to be concerned. Obviously people that have, immune issues and stuff, immune system issues.
Right.
But she was like, the antibodies from being vaccinated, the antibodies from catching it, is actually doing a good job in society of fighting this disease and like keeping COVID from like, what it was. I mean, I think even if you're disagreeing about how much serious people should be taking it, you have to, unless you're just living in a completely different world, you have to admit that it's not the problem it was when we literally could not go outside and shit.
Agreed.
And the hospitals were full of people that were like sick and dying, and people were burying loved ones every day, all the time, and all that stuff. And famous people were dying all the time. Like, so it's not that. Doesn't mean it's over. We always knew we'd have to live with COVID.
Yep.
But what I'm trying to say is what annoys me, what bothers me, is that someone like RFK Jr. who can say, let's get rid of the vaccines, let's stop funding them, the companies are the bad guys or whatever, the people just need to walk and drink water or whatever the fuck he believes. You're walking on the back of the people that did the hard work during the pandemic to make sure that we all got these antibodies in us from these mRNA vaccines. So like, this is what bothers me about the anti-vax type people, even those hippie versions of them, the liberal versions. It doesn't matter whether you're the Republican version or the liberal version. So many of them are just a microcosm of our society where they're in the safety of the work that others did,
right?
And they're using that safety to be like, I don't think we need this at all. It's the same reason they cut down the Voting Rights Act, where they're just like, I mean, it looks like black people can vote in the South, so why are we even enforcing these laws? And then the second they take them out, all of a sudden here comes some new laws to make black people, make it harder for us to vote.
Right.
Same thing with the vaccines. Like the people we had eradicated essentially many of these diseases down to like numbers where like it was not a problem for our society. And now anti-vaccine is causing this shit to come back, and they'll take no responsibility for it. And if anything, they keep stripping more and more away. And under this administration, it might not be, the next thing might not be a COVID. It might not be a virus, but there's nothing about this administration that feels like they be prepared for any crisis that we have.
No, they fired all those people.
Right. Exactly. So
yeah, they fired all those people. And the thing that's the most frustrating thing to me, this is why I say white supremacy and that it has a hold on people. It's irrational, it's illogical, and it doesn't even care about itself. You don't even care about your kids, because a lot of people that make these decisions, you've been vaccinated from some of these things, mumps and measles and all this shit. Like of your age, you've been vaccinated. You got your shingles shots or whatever the fuck. You are vaccinated. It is your children that are going to be getting polio, mumps, and measles and shit that we have literally eradicated. It's going to be rummaging through the school, not you, adult, who has fully been vaccinated. And that's the thing. You are protected. Your children are not. And so this is why I say you don't even care about your own children. All you care is about the whiteness, and that supersedes every rational thing.
But it's not just white people, man. There's just like a current of anti-vaccine, anti-expertise, anti-science shit all over the fucking place. It's like it's beyond just whiteness. Like it's something worse. I don't even know anyway. It's very frustrating, and
it is.
Yeah, I feel you because like the other thing is it's the absence of a plan. It's not like RFK Jr. does these things and then comes out with like here's what the CDC is now saying will be the new vaccine. But it's like the pharmacists are like, we don't know. We're hoping we get an update.
Right.
We might get to October and people just are like, we still don't know.
Right. We don't know the cost. We don't know nothing. We don't even know if we're going to get them in.
And these motherfuckers, this is turning to politics, gonna get mad. But I'll move on. But I'll just say this. This is the type of administration that I think they're going to wait for the worst type of things to happen, and then they will go back and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna start up some vaccines for this or whatever. Like they don't prevent problems. They prefer to strip all the prevention out of the system because they're like, why would we even ever pay for that? And then once the shit happens, then they try to pop up with some half-ass answers afterwards. It's just like the flood in Texas and shit. Like
damage has already been done.
Yeah, people have died and then they go back. They don't try to help. But a lot of this is like the American people's fault, including liberal and progressive people that were sitting up there going, why do we even trust the CDC? It's all bullshit. Okay, this is what happens as you just undermine expertise and experience. Everyone's been doing it. Everyone thinks they know so much fucking better than the people that dedicated their lives to this shit.
Right.
People who on their resume have literally saved millions of lives, and yet we still go, man, fuck Dr. Fauci or whatever, or just CDC some bullshit. And a lot of that is because you allowed Donald Trump and them to make you question them, because you know that Donald Trump can have undue influence and he is untrustworthy. So then you go, well, that makes everybody untrustworthy. And now here we are. EVE says, speaking of conspiracy theories, what happened to QAnon? Why does anyone mention anymore? Was it just to get dumped in office the first time? Because I haven't heard a thing from them in years. I remember a documentary about it being run by some man in Asia and his son. Did they die? Appia says, yes, Q killed them. You heard it here first.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I watched that doc too. And yeah, man, it is so crazy how it just went away.
That shit used to be everywhere.
But also, like, when you let the people who benefited from those conspiracies be in charge, and is everything a conspiracy and nothing's a conspiracy now. Appia says, the experience in Germany with too much data is Nazi Germany was they knew exactly who the Jewish people were. 2, Jewish people had, 1, they knew exactly who the Jewish people were. 2, Jewish people had to wear a yellow star on their clothing. 3, they were easily to identify, deported into concentration camps and killed. That's probably the reason for being extremely suspicious about that. That makes sense. And you know what would make me be a complete asshole is if me having no experience living in Nazi Germany was like, you need to just fill out the census. I don't know what the fuck you talking about.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I am saying I recognize what I don't know about your country, and I'm taking your word for it, because why the fuck would I not? This is not a theoretical debate to me that I feel like I need to win with a person in Germany that has a lived experience that is informed by the traumas of their past.
Right.
I'm telling you about the traumas of the American past, which I definitely know more about than you. I've lived it. And so when I'm telling you, like, here's why Black people who are not fucking stupid are filling out the census.
Right.
And what it has been used to help and aid, and how we've actually gotten a lot of progress in our lifetimes because of data. I'm not gonna defer to, I hear what you're saying, but I'm not gonna defer and be like, yeah, man, we shouldn't have been filling that shit out. Like, no, the goal is to not have evil people in charge, and I'm sure that if I Google some shit, I get some like Germany has the best census in the world, because Germany always has the best everything in the world. Germany's the most accurate of all the censuses, and I'd be like, yeah, that makes fucking sense. And I don't know, like, so yeah, I don't know what happens in Germany with too much data, because I don't live there, but I know in America, the census thing is very serious, because it's been used to allocate resources.
Right.
So we'll see.
Right. And a lack of data is the problem. And the thing is, when you tell people things based off of what you know, they'll go, fuck it. Like we were forced to get the statistics in order to prove the inequity.
Yeah.
Like, other than that, we would not be where we are now.
Yep.
Because people don't take your word for it.
Yeah. Appia says the experience in Germany. Ronan Raphael says, I just want my good brother Dre to know that I'm a big fan of his messages and look forward to any time he calls. The Barabai Quran got to find a special The Blackout Tills Worthy Award for his brother. Conspiracy theories are another reason why I believe the society is cooked. I'm just glad I got this podcast, because oh my, I'm gonna go play Barabai Quran music because Rod won't play my music. All right, enjoy yourself. By the way, one of my favorite things I enjoy outside of podcasts, movie shows, anime, etc., is watching Wired Tech Support on YouTube, where different professionals tackle questions from mostly people on Twitter about subjects in their field. Ranges from questions you and I might have to folks trying to sneak in conspiracies in their questions. I bring this up to say one of my favorite episodes just dropped, a biomedical scientist tackling how much damage to conspiracies led by RFK Jr., Joe Rogan, and more. While based on BS, you can see how they twisted into the truth. She didn't shy away from naming them. By the way, I was a black marine biologist. It was a black marine biologist that got me into a series when he was talking about sharks, where here's the biological scientist video dismantling lots of health conspiracies for the audience. I wasn't expecting it to be played during the show. For Parabai Quran is understanding supporter. Have I told you this is the best podcast in the world? Thank you.
Thank you.
Ramsey says, back to the question about the whites and how they address their aunt or uncle growing up on military bases overseas in the U.S. I have never heard them refer to anyone as auntie or uncle. They seem to have nicknames, or children use their first name instead of Miss Bunny or Mr. Chuck. Classic R&B Lover says, I just finished listening to episode 3137, Lil Boosie Collins, where you discussed the Patreon and RSS link they provide for your subscribers. I use the Patreon RSS link for my subscriptions to Project Fandom and Tea with Queen and Jay. The links work perfectly. I listened through the Apple Podcast app, and once you add the link, the instructions provided are spot on. All of the podcasts and announcements appear in the feed for the show. It is a seamless process, so your Patreon subscribers should have no problem accessing your content that way. Awesome.
Yay. Thank you.
Because I don't necessarily get to see it from that angle. I can try. There's like little things you can do to put it in your own feed as the podcast creator, but getting y'all's reviews, and I'm assuming it's working, because I mean, we got people signing up, but we don't have anyone saying like, hey, this thing was missing or this doesn't work. So I'm assuming it's been easy for people over there, and we appreciate it.
We do.
Sean says, thank you for your masterclass on epistemology, the study of knowledge. Lesson 1, using the allegory of FBA, you address the need to acknowledge and understand the lived experience in order to interact with people while also seeking to share truth. Lesson 2, use the allegory of Doge. You address the need to acknowledge expertise. Not everyone's opinion is equal, and experience is not everything. A civil servant who trained for and worked in a government agency for 2 years is always going to have a more valuable opinion than a stooge hired based on loyalty. If I want an expert opinion on the Constitution, I will ask Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. If I need expertise on destroying constitutional rights while talking out of one's ass to defend absurd decisions, I'll talk to John Roberts. Lesson 3, using the allegory of Twitterdemics, you showed that the importance of academia is not in its language, which has been abducted along with psychology speak by Twitter, but in its focus on data and rigorous scrutiny of analysis. I think that this actually goes back further. Most notably, Cornel West will often speak outside of his expertise without support, but it has been accelerated, no doubt. Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess that's true when you think about, like, this kind of started probably with TV, and maybe you could argue radio, but I don't know enough about radio to speak on like how that happened. But TV definitely was like a
because stardom.
Yeah, TV, because the allure of fame and
recognizable.
But also it's the ability for people to be good at TV is different than the ability to be expert in the field, meaning that there are many people who are very smart and knowledgeable, but they are not good at TV.
Right.
And because they're not good at all the physical presentation of TV, they could subsequently get a TV show, but a person that's a charlatan like Dr. Phil will always work circles around them and pass them in ratings and stuff by leaps and bounds, because he's good at TV even if you're good at being a doctor.
Right.
And that's something that definitely, started a long time ago. And yeah, you have people like Cornel West that is, in Matrix movies and talking and putting out rap albums and shit, because it's like at that point it's not about his expertise, it's about Cornel West.
Agreed.
Finally, you gave us a case study breakdown and shared knowledge based on the doctor's consultation. The doctor should have learned lesson 1 and framed their bedside manner better. The patient needs to focus on lesson 2. Their friend's medical opinion means jack, and the friend needs to learn lesson 3. Data and rigor are more important than feelings when dealing with knowledge. Yeah, that shout out to I May Destroy You, man. That's my favorite episode. And I saw she's got a new show coming out soon, too.
Good for her.
Thank you for your lecture. I look forward to your future masterclass on ontology. John Baby John says, greetings from Bryan, College Station, Texas, home of Ghislaine Maxwell and Texas A&M University. I'm late to the Auntie Unc discussion, but was an early adopter of the Unc title. I accepted it after taking a job as a professor in 2012 and realizing at the age of 42 that I was old enough to be the father of my undergraduate students and uncle of the most of my master's and doctoral students. So now I'm 55 with a mostly gray beard that got me effed up recently. If someone offered me a senior discount at a thrift store, should have took that discount.
I would.
After I pulled myself together, I said, yes.
I know it's so.
Please give me all the discounts.
I can't wait to get my senior discount.
Yeah, y'all offer me
that.
I'll turn into that granny from Tweety Bird.
Yes.
Like, I will take the discount.
Yeah, I'm tired of paying full price.
Oh, this gout is killing me today. Can you carry it out to my car?
Yes.
Long story short, I've decided it's time for me to add some cool old black dude to my Unc vibe. I already have a bunch of bow ties. And then on YouTube, we got 7 comments. Damien says, damn good show, guys, as always. Dark Nandra says, a curriculum vitae and a resume are both documents used to showcase professional experience, but they differ in length, scope, and purpose. Okay. DJ's something else says, DJ is something else says, we got Lil Boosie Collins and Toby Maguire show me the money in 1 week. Goddamn, man, no one could tell me there's a better podcast out here. Y'all are legitimately the Bronner podcast and keep this thing going forever. Thank you. Doc Nandra says, another banger feedback show. Thanks. The girl on the other side of the road says, I want to give y'all a 5-star review, but I'm kind of an Android user who wants nothing to do with Apple. It also always shocks me that there are ads on here. Like I remember when I started watching and I found music between segments very odd. Then I had to remember that I have YouTube Premium and that the poors have to wait between every segment. I feel sorry for them.
Well, you can, you don't have to have an Apple device to actually sign up. You can actually go to apple.com, create an account, and you can leave us 5 stars from there.
Yes, you can.
Mm-hmm. So you don't even have to really, quote unquote, associate with Apple.
5 stars, says Ramsey PH Dunn. The music producers send y'all some dope music. They talented as fuck, says Kim Doc. They are. I agree.
Shout out to our music people.
The poll was, do you return your grocery cart to the correct designated spaces after shopping? 96% of our audience said yes. 4% did not say yes. But wow, I am very impressed. That is a amazing number. I think you can tell a lot about people if they return a shopping cart or not. You know, I think it's one of those like tests in life. I actually saw a clip. Speaking of Appia in Germany, I actually saw a clip from a TV show, a German TV show, where they were returning shopping carts.
Claudia muss jetzt also.
I just realized you guys won't be able to hear the sound. Shit. All right, give me a second, because you guys know how this works. I hate this whole Chrome won't play the sound bullshit. Put it in Firefox and show you guys that way. But yeah,
they said they could hear something.
Oh, y'all could hear it? Oh. All right, well, if y'all can hear it, then I'll play it.
Yeah.
Der sieht auch nicht schlecht aus. Der war richtig gut sogar.
This is some type of show where these German women have shopping carts.
Okay.
And then like 20, 30 feet away or whatever, they have to push the shopping cart where they have to stay behind a line, push the shopping cart into the shopping cart space.
Okay.
Der muss jetzt also
I'm riveted.
aufholen.
You can see
Sieht auch nicht.
Carmen
It's
is
like bowling.
Yeah, Carmen is Miss, 2 makes, Miss, and a make. So she got 3 makes, and they got three pushes left. Claudia is 2 misses, 2 makes, and 1 miss. So she down 3-2 right now, Claudia, to Carmen.
Oh, they serious about
Schlecht
this
aus.
shit.
Der war richtig gut sogar.
Aber kerzengerade wie beim Aldi.
Oh, she talking that shit. I don't know what she said. But she talking that shit.
Take that, bitch.
Right. Like, that's how you put a fucking card in there, bitch.
Right.
Your turn.
Weiß nicht, ob er das beim Aldi gemacht.
Sieht er aus.
Yeah, we in Kunstwagen parking. Yeah, we doing this.
Man merkt, wir sind ein richtiger Haus.
So Claudia done tied it up. It's 3-3. But
Okay.
Carmen got one more turn than Claudia, so it's Carmen's turn.
Oh,
Behält
ne?
ihre Führung.
Ja.
Und wir
Geht
sehen
auch.
Hätte jetzt von dir gar nicht
Sie
so
hat
gedacht,
noch
dass du das so
3.
gut kannst.
War der noch 2.
Sehr nett
So.
von dir.
Nein, nicht
She was like, "Don't get nervous, bitch. Don't try not to hit the sides." Complete concentration. Oh, I love her form. Look how she's ready. Two hands. Didn't cross the line.
Bleibt also
Now,
bei
let's
dieser
go, Carmen.
Führung.
Ein Vorsprung.
I don't know if is he.
That must be a judge or
Yeah,
something.
he looked nervous.
2 Versuche. Der
He
soll.
put money on. The
Oh
other
shit,
one.
they got replays.
It's the replay. Oh.
Ja, also jetzt,
Ja,
ja.
aber vielleicht.
Nine.
So,
Damn.
Tie game. I
5.
think.
Genau so ist es.
Carmen-
Genau. Ne?
Wenn
Wenn sie
Carmen
den jetzt macht, hat sie
trifft,
5.
Come on,
Ist
Carmen.
das Spiel vorbei.
Fünf kann
Let's go,
Claudia
baby.
nicht mehr
Let's
schaffen.
go, Miss Mamas.
Okidoki.
We done trained for this our whole life at the Aldi.
Right?
Okay.
Hat
You know
also
about the
selbst
quarter?
I
in
ain't
der
follow my
Hand jetzt
kids
die,
down the aisle for nothing.
We know
wieder
about
die
that quarter,
Führung
sis.
auch in der Show zu übernehmen.
Look at the form.
100.000 Euro.
Und der ist
Oh, shit.
Ja. Wichtig, wichtig.
She left her hand up
Der kommt ja
there.
langsam in die entscheidende Phase.
Who's number 1 now, bitch?
She put that Steph Curry on that ass. She should have turned around and looked the other
She
way.
should have flipped her hair.
Who's the best? You.
Me.
I am. You are. No. I forget what that dude said.
I'm the cart princess.
All right, y'all. Let's play some music and then we'll come right back. They don't put that shit on the Olympics, man. I don't know. I don't know if I'm watching.
I would be in for that one.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm watching.
The concentration.
I might start training. I've been returning my carts my whole life for
Right?
nothing.
Right?
And I like shooting from far away.
Right? What do they win? I hope it's
I don't know.
a gift card to all this. Let's go.
Right. Appius is the first person to
You get all your quarters back.
Avia is the first person to respond on the 3139 episode, 3139, 21 Jack Salute. Appia says, I don't see changing the districts the other way working because when you know the people of color tend to vote Democrat, you can target them. When it comes to white people, they vote can go either way. And they are 70% of the population. So in a mostly white area, you don't really know how an intervention would change the status quo. Rod has notifications on his news app. If I had them on, my anxiety would be sky high. Yeah, Appia, that's just because you're not built like this. Okay. Some of y'all ain't got the iron trap of a brain like your boy got with the boundaries done cording everything all coordinated. I got this.
I don't either, baby. I don't. Nope. Don't.
It's nothing to me. Okay, I get them alerts. Let me look on what's alerting on here right now.
Sometimes Roger be telling me shit on the show. I be like, oh, they died. He be
Let's
like, "What the
see.
hell you been?"
Yeah, I got all kinds
Not
of
paying
alerts.
attention.
My title artist, will Tyler the Creator claim your top spot again this month? See the number of streams
Yes,
in your
he
most
will.
listened to artist so far.
Uh-huh.
Out for delivery, some Amazon. Ready for another season? Single ticket games is on sale for the Hornets.
Whoop, whoop.
Oh, Xbox. Karen is online. She playing video games.
I was, yeah.
I got a deal alert for a no-code jump starter on my Amazon. Demon Slayer Infinity. The final battle begins September 12th. You can get tickets now.
Oh, child.
See, Karen wouldn't have known because she don't got no alert.
Get them tickets. I'm ready.
New dad, 29. He was told he had tonsillitis. He was dead the next day. Shout out to people. They let me know that. Hollywood Reporter said, how will the American Jeans controversy affect Sydney Sweeney's career? New brand deals? I don't know. KKK robes coming back.
Oh, no.
We gotta sell.
Are they going to be blue jean style?
Ye old Navy. Finish watching. Pick up where you left off. See what happens next on Andor. Nigga, I finished that already. How? What? Okay, Disney Plus. Y'all got to get y'all shit.
Yeah.
Stop worrying about buying Hulu and update your stuff.
Right.
The world's best receiver isn't in the NFL. She's a flag football phenomenon. Apple News. So yeah, I can handle it. I guess you just some people just not built the same. You know what I'm saying? Appia and maybe step your therapy game up and you'll be all right. You can handle a notification.
Yes, definitely stay on top of that Demon Slayer because I'm being that bitch first thing smoking.
Rona Raphael says, I was sweating at the beginning of this episode. I just bought my ticket on the way to see Weapons. Thanks to Chris Lambert and Tim Hall talking me into seeing it as I had never seen the trailer. I agree on the movie take. Fun fact about the redistricting blue in the NYS, New York State. It was already done prior to 2024 elections in a smart way, I may add, and the highest courts in the state said it was too unfair in favor of Democrats. Despite already being in an election window, a redo took place that ended up with the current map that gave some gains to the GOP. I bring this up to say, while you're not wrong about white voters, 100% on that, if there's one thing that I know about the GOP is that they utilize the rules in blue states to enact their destruction, and the goddamn voters let them get away with it. So New York, Illinois, Washington, California, etc. can retaliate and redraw their maps to a blue advantage. The state GOP already waiting at the court door to foul, and whiteness going to white. Right. This is why I feel we are cooked. Shout out to Mark Maron and Hunter Biden always. Word. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Like I said, I don't know enough to know for sure it won't work. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the people that are making these threats that we're gonna rig our state so that it's all blue. A, do it. B, I hope you're right. I just hope you have to be right on this, because if it don't work, it's really like gives the right carte blanche to do this with no true opposition. Like, even the Supreme Court will be like, yeah, well, I mean, California did it and it didn't work, but they did it and gained a couple seats when they thought they were going to turn the whole state blue. But with white voters and white people being the majority of voters and voter suppression in these southern states, I bet it's easier to turn a state almost completely red than it is blue. That would be my guess.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
But good luck either way.
Yeah, good luck to you all. And it's not that simple, because if it was that simple, y'all would have been did this shit. Trust. It's checks and balances. It's some rule or something y'all got to follow. Put something in. Like, it ain't like you can come in and swing your dick and be like, we gonna do this tomorrow. You can't. Yeah, that's why you're just saying it.
As Raphael said, New York and this happens all the time, by the way. It's not a anomaly. States try this and then the courts are supposed to be like, no, go back, get the map so that it's representative of the people in the state. What happens is Republicans stuff the courts with such bias that now in certain states it's like, yeah, you can do it. If it's going to strip people that are Democrats of their power, you can do it. And we'll just keep pushing it to the Supreme Court, where we think ultimately they'll side with us.
Yep.
Ray from the 804 says, hey, Rod and Karen, I remember back during Obama's presidency hearing a former Bureau of Labor and Statistics employee describe the process of creating the jobs report every month. It's a very controlled process, and they do a lot to limit people on the outside from knowing what's going on or having any input. Of course, I expect that'll change a lot now that Trump has installed a puppet to run that department. I just wanted to add, because the news media doesn't always do a good job of giving the context, it's very normal for the previous month's data to be corrected. When a new report comes out, it happens all the time. Well, I guess happened, because who knows how this is going to work going forward. Just wanted to add that because I don't know if the person he fired was trying to placate Trump or not. I know you hate working off assumptions. Peace, y'all. Ray, as I said during the episode, I made it very clear. I was completely spitballing. I 100% had no factual basis to back up what I was saying. And I want that to be heard and understood. Like, I was not saying this is definitely what happened. Like, I was saying at the time, because I remember making like a couple of disclaimers like, hey, I don't know that this is what happened. I hope it's not. And all I'm saying is, I'm sure these things do get corrected. I'm not saying, I didn't even say this is unprecedented to be corrected. What I'm more looking at is the idea of the corrections being less flattering for Trump,
right,
in multiple months, and a guy who we saw fire people,
yes, he did,
for doing their jobs. I'm not saying he has to come into your office and tell you inflate the numbers. I'm just wondering if there's a pressure on you as a person to know, like, well, shit, if I just, if I report, let's just give the most optimistic version of this report, and then a couple months later we could take it down. Once again, complete speculation. This is not to even say any, like, I get it. I'm not trying to start a conspiracy. I'm saying when you have this type of malfeasance at the top, I don't know what kind of person can't wonder. Like, is there an undue pressure on people who typically used to have unbiased, nonpartisan jobs to be partisan? And then once he does install his own people and they do stuff like stop reporting job numbers, or only report favorable job numbers, or just make the numbers up, I think we'll look back at this moment and be like, I wonder what kind of pressure that other person was under.
Yeah, I can
because
see that.
Clearly this is what the administration wants, and they're not quiet about just that they will rig the book. So that's what I mean. But I really do appreciate the background information and the perspective, because I don't know all that stuff, and I thank you.
Yeah, and I know for me, I've heard people talk about this in the past, and I've heard people say, well, it's a correction to last month job numbers. They're higher or lower, blah, 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 and then they'll adjust and we'll just move forward. So I knew that the corrections, like publicly announcing corrections, was not abnormal or different. But with this administration, the problem is, like, he only wants, like I said, favorable numbers. So if the truth is, well, we thought this, but by maybe our cutoff date was something, or whatever the case may be, the numbers are lower. He's pissed because the numbers are lower than, quote unquote, what he thought they should be. And so he wants you to basically put false numbers out there saying the numbers are great every month, but that's not a true statement. But people losing their jobs. So people are going to figure out it's a disconnection between what you're saying and the reality that they're living.
I think also firing the person, to me, is why I go to a place of, like, were they under pressure to forge numbers?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think when we go, well, it's normal that you adjust the numbers, like, yeah, but it's not normal you get fired for adjusting the numbers.
No,
So
it's not.
I'm not pointing out the abnormality of adjustments. I'm pointing out the abnormality of the pressure that you must be under compared to other administrations.
Agreed.
Shoe Booty says, Jimmy Fallon has been persona non grata for me since he first normalized the orange dictator back in the 2016 race. He expressed regret previously, but now let's people like Gutfield, even if he's not the booker of the show, how does it get to this level? He just rolls with it. Is he so afraid of being canceled both literally and figuratively by his employers or audiences? I think about how rich he has to be by now. When is enough enough? If I had millions of dollars and was threatened with being fired or the audacity to have moral fortitude, I'll gladly walk away from all of it with my integrity intact. Fuck Jimmy Fallon. He's not even that funny. I don't even think it's pressure from like my guess. I don't know him. But my guess is, number one, he has final say on his guest. He does, like, he's Jimmy Fallon. He's been doing the job for a long time.
That's my thing. He could have said no.
If he doesn't want someone on the show, they won't be on the show.
Right.
That's what I'm imagining.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I don't think Jimmy Fallon's necessarily the guy that probably vetoes a lot of people being on his show. Jimmy Fallon's entire vibe is, I'm a happy puppy and I'm just here to have fun and go along to get along. The out of character moment was not having Gutfeld on the show. The out of character moment was showing up for Stephen Colbert as if he was siding against the big companies and the government
when he really wasn't.
But
right.
that's not what he does. He's not a brave man. He's not an outspoken man. And so Jimmy Fallon, having Gutfeld on is probably, my guess, this is complete speculation and projection, is probably his conscience for being like, oh God, it looks like I picked a side when I was with Colbert. It looks like I'm saying conservatives are bad and Donald Trump is bad and Paramount CBS is bad. Oh God, well, how do I make it seem like, no, I'm just here, I'm just Jimmy Fallon, I have fun with anybody. Let's get Gutfeld on the show. Let's rub in his hair, and then we'll just all go see Jimmy Fallon. He likes everybody.
Yeah, I see. I agree. Just don't go on this man's show then. Like
on Colbert show.
Yes. Yeah. Just be the oddball at this out the loop. This just being like I'm going to keep away.
EVE says, I've been side-eyeing Jimmy Fallon since he played in Dump's hair the first time that turd ran. He's the weakest link of links, and I will celebrate when the show is eventually canceled. If Trick Daddy has nothing else, it's plenty of audacity. Looks aside, whenever a man his age says older women's standards are too high, they really mean they want someone who will allow them to treat them any kind of way.
Right.
They want someone with no standards of self-esteem. So sad. That's why so many older men end up alone and miserable. They live in delusion. Abia says that he isn't ashamed to say older women have too high standards and I don't want to evolve or get better in any way. I want to date someone who thinks what I'm offering is good enough. Sean says, in regards to comedy's role in resistance, there's a reason why dictators begin by attacking comedy and free speech. When I taught a course on political humor, I began with a newspaper excerpt related to this topic. The reason why comedy is important is because a dictator needs the veil of legitimacy to be effective. By delegitimizing the leader, you can make it impossible for them to lead. Just like comedians and pundits were able to delegitimize Biden, who was not a dictator, they can do the same to tyrants. I agree with that. That's a great point. Because they definitely use comedy to be like, this doddering old man is gonna die, and I don't know. It's August of 2025. He seems fine. He seems fine, and whenever he shows up, he seems like he got his wits about him. Right. And maybe it's because we're not hyper focused on trying to tear him down because we're so fucked now that people are like, shit. As opposed to the whole like, oh, he stuttered over a word. Like every time he shows up now, he looks sharp, he's on point, and then he moves, and he's not having to be on camera every fucking day. And we're also not pressuring him to be like, where is he? What's he doing? We're just like, well, he's not in charge.
He's able to rest, get a whole 8 hours of sleep.
And I once again, it happened with Obama, and it's gonna happen with Biden. Letting this man and his people, Trump, be in charge is going to elevate their legacies. Yes. It's only going to elevate it. And it's going to elevate it with people like me who already thought they did a great job. But
agreed.
It's an unimpeachable job compared to what Trump has done. And I don't live in this world of I expect perfection from Democrats and nothing from Republicans. You can live in that world, but we don't occupy the same lane when it comes to discussions.
No,
so for me, I'm going to be like, yeah, I hear what you're saying every time you bring up something negative about these two. And I'll be like, and then we followed it up with Trump because we didn't want better. Right. So I don't know what country you think we're living in, but this is not a country motivated by how do we do even better than before. It's a country that didn't even like the progress they got under those two and hit us with a white lash immediately. In other words, we need to treat the situation as a real threat while using rhetoric to delegitimize the entire right-wing kleptocratic totalitarian movement. By all means, start with Trump, but given his parlor bruising and coordination issues, he seems to be suffering from liver and kidney failure and may not be around too long. Man, I don't know. I feel like that's wishful thinking. Because I feel like they say the same thing about Kim Jong-un, I think, and then they say the same thing about Putin every time he shows up. People been waiting on these motherfuckers to secretly pass away for too long.
They still kicking it.
They got some shit in that White House that just, keep you alive. And apparently no one really cares about Trump's health. At least they don't obsess over it the way they did Biden, man. It's crazy. And that man is not much younger than Biden, and yet you just do not hear there's no speculation. There's no matter what he says or does, there's no assumption of deterioration or diminishment. There's no scuttlebutt. There's no rumors. No one's writing a book. No one's interviewing anybody off the record. It's fucking crazy.
Right.
So it's important to take on the entire movement, especially the Supremes. Classic R&B Lover says, hi, Rod and Karen. Regarding the threat to gerrymandering and retaliation for Texas as a New Yorker, I can 100% promise that Kathy Hochul will do absolutely nothing. She is an upstate Democrat, which in New York means Republican light. She got picked by Cuomo because she could speak the language of the upstate MAGAs in a way that would make them okay with voting for a Democrat. Hochul does not think the wealthy should be taxed or take some of the weight off of the backs of everyone else. Hochul held a press conference where she discussed how black kids in the Bronx are so deprived that they do not know how to operate computers. When challenged on her comment, infamous Trump fuckboy Mayor Eric Kuhn Adams defended the Alabaster Angel, basically saying Missy Ann didn't mean no harm. She just trying to help us poor black dummies. You forgot to say Officer Mayor Eric Kuhn Adams, but I hear you. We all drop the ball once in a while. As an observer, I can also affirm the likelihood of Gavin Newsom doing absolutely anything is nil as well. He is looking to run for higher office and was among the many who quickly jumped on the Kamala Harris, failed to connect with the poor, misunderstood white voter. She and the Democrats would have been better served by not focusing on transgender people and identity politics. Yeah, hey, look, I'm going to vote for whoever the Democrats put up. Let me just say that, because I think too much is. I will never be guilty of the bullshit that these fucking progressives pull, where if they don't get their perfect candidate, fuck all of us and we all go back to slavery. So I'll just preface it with that. And I don't want to nitpick each person in the next 4 years that may or may not try to be a candidate, because it's just not. We're 3 years out. We need to survive this first.
Right.
But Gavin Newsom and his spicy social media is not fooling me, dog. Like, we're not going to tweet our way out of this. And I think the obsession with liking someone because their Twitter account is spicy is a huge failing on the parts of people who are supposed to be politically active. This whole, like, I like them now. I was on Karen Hunter's show and I brought up Jamie Harrison, who I know is persona non grata with Karen. But my point I was trying to make, and I didn't get to make it, was this environment of resistance is powerful because the people are fed up, and politicians mimic the people. They don't lead the people. They mimic the people. That's what representation is. Some of it is closer to the core of who those people are, right? So like Jasmine Crockett is a fighter, and you feel representation when you see her fighting. But Gavin Newsom, who is a fighter too, don't get me wrong, but he ain't a spicy tweeter. Like, that's a person he hired to do his social media. And people share it because it's like, ooh, he talking shit to Trump. And I'm like, because he's trying to run at some point, elevate his platform via Twitter, spicy tweets. But his real life don't really knock with the tweets. The tweets are very like, fuck all these motherfuckers. And then his policies, his platforms are very much like, let's sit down with these people. Let's sit down with Steve Bannon. Let's stop with all this trans shit. That's enough. Right. Let's worry about the issues that affect the white voters. That's what he's on. So to me, it's incongruent, and I can't get too excited about his level of resistance. I hope he's petty and he's able to make that blue map shit, but I don't know if he's even being honest about the blue map thing, or he's just like, this will look good. Because you know who else started off like this and people love them? Everybody got fucking lady boners for him, and man boners, I guess. Fucking Cuomo. I remember when he was Mr. Fuck Trump and everybody was like, oh, some about that Cuomo. And then he turns out to be a weirdo and a fucking like sex pest and all this shit. And now it's like, oh yeah, fuck that guy too. So I don't know that I'm turned on by the shit talking. I'm turned on by the actions, the policies, stuff like that. I'm turned on by you not sitting down with the architects of much of this white supremacy we're experiencing. But some people just like spicy tweets, and that's why he's gaining popularity online.
Right. And I'm a person, I want results. I don't care about any of that shit. I want results. And the same, I will vote for whoever the Democratic person is. But I also can vote for your ass and goddamn complain and tell you about your shortcomings and tell you, okay, bitch, you in there, but you represent me too. You know, I can put that demand on you. I have the right to, because I participated in the system. I know that you are not perfect, but I also know that you're not going to do the bullshit that Trump is doing, but I also can hold you accountable. I do not know about holding people accountable. People don't understand. You'd rather hold a fucking celebrity accountable who don't got no goddamn vote than a person who actually has power over the things that happen in your everyday life.
All I have to say is those delusional, mostly white, these non-white seeking proximity to whiteness are getting ready to get a rude awakening. As Karen always explains, they just because you ain't fighting for your life every hour of the day doesn't mean you ain't in the fight.
Right.
Ms. Barnes says, thank you for addressing the weirdest of observations that I had. There was an adult performer by the name of Jake Adams who died in a motorcycle accident back in either 2020 or 2021. When I scrolled and saw his movies and paused, I wonder if I could enjoy knowing that he died. And then you and Karen put it in context that we are not going to stop watching movies or listen to music for those who have died. So should we do the same when it's foreign? Thanks for the banter. No problem. Yeah, it's interesting that we draw that distinction. I'm sure it's attached to shame and puritanical shit that we learned as kids and all this stuff. But it is, you know, Prince dies and it's like you can't stop listening to his music or something, you know, or so-and-so dies in a movie and it's like, you know, you don't feel ashamed that you watch Chadwick Boseman, you know, be a supporting actor in the Blues movie. Like you go, man, this is an homage to his work. But with porn, it's like, never again. She gonna be able to look up for me at hell. Well, the devil is watching. All right, we got 15 comments on YouTube. All right. Double T459 says, hey y'all, I'm so behind, but this video came across my YouTube recommended, so I wanted to shout y'all out. Karen is aging backward. What the hell? And the slimmer Rod gets, the more he looks like his mom. Okay, let me go catch up. Thanks, Double T.
Thank you.
Damien says, I miss the days of facts over feelings, but when mainstream media is complicit in validating people's feelings for ratings, is anyone surprised that we're here where we are? Nope. You're right, Damien. None in your biz says 21 Jack salute, laughing emojis, y'all crazy. So is the salute 21 beats or my pud, or is it 21 nuts? I got to make sure I do it right so I can respectfully mourn the next porn star. Thanks for the etiquette tip. Kim Doc says, woo, the way they drag Trick Daddy is soup for my soul. Wowzers. I was literally thinking, but you look like shit. What's going on here? That Club Shay Shay school of thought. Rod tricked all of us with the guess the race. That thief in the Grateful Dead athleisure was diabolical and deceptive. I don't like it. Where's the complaint jar? Complain to the criminal. He probably stole the complaint jar and the tips that was in it.
Probably did.
Can y'all sing y'all original Double the Points and Guess the Race one day? Double the Points, Double the Race. That was my Jimmy jam. Yeah, I think so. The main reason we stopped was because it was actually licensed music from like a game show. And when we went to Spotify, especially, and YouTube does this too, they demonetize your shit when you play licensed stuff, depending on if they want to or not.
Right.
Maybe us singing over would be enough to stop it, but I'm not 100% sure. So it was just,
know.
And Spotify, in particular, when we were working with them, but did not want us violating those copyright things. So that's why we never used it that way. So I don't know. Maybe I'll think about it, but I don't know. Provocative AF says, what up, folk? From St. Louis to North Carolina, throw it up. What up, Rod and Karen? From Ferguson to DC, the revolution will be televised. Dark Nandra says, yes, it was a good time. Thanks, 5 stars. Christoph says, same. I thought I was going crazy. So many active shooter alerts had me paranoid about going to work. Yeah, them active shooter alerts be happening a lot, man. Like every day. Christoph says, I don't think I've ever witnessed everyone getting guessed the race wrong.
It was a collective wrong.
It's rare, but it does happen.
It goes against all your senses. Like, it literally goes against, like, everything said white. Like, oh my gosh, what's happening here?
Yeah. The girl from the other side of the road says, oh, Neely Leak's show is so crazy. She be saying whatever. Like, this is the same people she was telling him that she was disgusted by his cooking. And in another episode, she told T.S. Madison that she'll never be with a man that finds her attractive. The clip is nothing to what she be saying on there. She definitely, look, once we let being able to get attention be a talent.
Yes, be a talent.
You cannot be surprised that certain people will do anything and say anything. So like, I'm not shocked that a reality star show is like, here, let's just do an hour of problematic shit. Now, I don't watch her show, so maybe you're overstating it, but I'm just saying in general, it's like, okay, me saying something fucked up to their face might give us a little more virality on social media than we get if we had a nice, healthy, nuanced conversation. Damien says, I'm sorry, but no one from this admin should be even trying to extend condolences after all, unless the person fits their mold. Do you believe a word of their lip service? I don't even remember what we was talking about, but
no,
right?
Yeah, I do not.
AJ shows up, says, speaking about white voters is so depressing. I feel like we're living in a nightmare, and I keep waiting for someone to wake us up. When I was in grade school, I used to not understand how the Holocaust happened. How did they get away with such a massive atrocity? I now know and understand we're living in a country where the reality of something like that happening here is becoming more and more like something that could happen in reality. Not just that, AJ. Not just that, dog. America is a Holocaust. From the inception of the white version of America, it starts on a genocide. Then it switches into slavery.
Right.
Then it switches into 200 years of like Jim Crow type, bullshit, like Jim Crow and lynching and all this shit, all the way to like the civil rights movement. It's always been a struggle to get this country to be better. And it pats itself on the back for the smallest of gains and then immediately pushes back. And I think what happens is that even good people have been taken in by the propaganda of this country and they don't understand it. So they say stuff like, America's not living up to its ideals. And I'm like, that's if you think those are the ideals.
Right.
As they were writing those ideals, they were raping people. They were beating people. They were killing people.
Slaves were serving them.
They were selling people's children to different places where they couldn't be together. They were denying humanity. They were not allowing women to vote or have money at all, have banking accounts. This country is full of shit and has 100% always been. This is the legacy of this country. We're living it. And it's up to us to accept that we are in a constant fight to make anything positive of this situation. And what happens, I think, a lot of times is liberal people, they feel like the progress of yesterday, and it really be yesterday. It don't be like a million years ago. It be yesterday. They feel like it's a given and we're not moving back and that we just want perfection or nothing else. They don't see it as a tug of war where it's like, fuck, they're pulling the other way all the time. And we're over here fussing at each other.
Right.
So, but yeah, hate to say it that plain, but honestly, that's why I love this show, is that we can say it that plain. I don't have to worry about going to commercial.
Right. Cutting it short or whatever. And I 100% agree, because I am like, they pulling, we pulling. And I'm the type of person, look back at you, the fuck you fussing about? Like, bitch, pull. Like, nobody cares about whatever yada, yada, yada you talking about. It's like, if you don't pull, we're both going to lose.
Yeah. The Holocaust never stopped happening in America. Jason says, man, the firing of a woman who reported the job numbers might be the worst thing Trump has done the second term, at least structurally. In theory, some things can be reversed once a new person is in office, but no one will ever trust the job reports again. Yeah, it's kind of what happened with the CDC. And he wasn't able to like get those people out of in charge, but he put enough pressure on them that sometimes they'd say shit because they were instructed to say shit. And then we, people who should know better, use that against the CDC to be like, CDC just be saying anything. Like, we don't know why they just be saying anything.
Right.
And so now we don't trust the CDC. The same way he politicized COVID, the economic data is meaningless moving forward to the citizens. I was somewhat happy when you read the story about the dude who was committing crimes in the same clothes. Since this world is getting more Batman-y every day, I was looking forward to a real life Riddler. And shout out to the brother that was collecting white women like he was opening a yoga studio. He might be the first person charged with serial credit ruining. The poll was, do you think comedians have had any role in helping Trump back to power? 95% of people say yes, 4% say no. Yeah, I think they played a role. I think it's almost impossible to think they haven't. I mean, I don't feel like arguing with nobody about it, but like when you have the biggest podcast in the world and you invite Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and JD Vance on, yeah, you had a hand in it. Because you and made sure not to invite Kamala Harris on or to just have a scheduling conflict. Like you had a hand in it, yeah. Or Tim Walz, you didn't have him on either, yeah. You picked a side, and now you wanted to act like you're surprised how bad this has got.
Right.
3140. What happened to the platinum plan? We got
That's a great question.
9 comments. All right, let's see what we got. Appia says, as someone who lives with children, I could tell you random cuts or so are not from getting old because the children have some little something always. They are young by definition. What's this? I asked them, and I get my favorite answer always, no idea. Shubu says, seconding this with Appia, 90% of my random leg bruises are from kids climbing on me to cuddle. The other 10% are just white mystery. I'm pale and bruised if you look at me too hard. Well, I think you two are making 2 different points. Appia is saying, even when people are young, children, they don't know how they get cut or remember. So that's what she's saying, that we're older saying, I guess I'm getting old. I don't know how I got cut on my leg. She's like, nobody ever knew how they got cut on their leg, even babies.
It's always been a thing. Nobody knows.
And Shoe Booty, I think, interpreted as saying, my random cuts come from my children who be running around doing shit, and I got cut by them. And they be wanting to cuddle, and I don't be remembering how the fuck they fucked me up.
Yeah, scratch you with a fingernail or some shit, and I didn't know.
Abia says, Rod is telling the truth again. When you talk to old German people, everyone was against the Nazis and suffered from them. There were no supporters, and the Nazis seemed to be a small, very effective gang. Right? It's crazy. People do not, yeah, it's crazy. Justin says, man, and meanwhile, I'm sure Germany has some version of like ultra right conservative neo-Nazi something popping somewhere. I'm not saying it's like the majority, but there's people who are still on that bullshit somewhere in the country, and it's like, yeah, so this still exists and it's still a problem. It's like, no, it was no big deal then. Okay, all right. Justin says, man, I've seen people talking about Lil Tay. I had no clue who she is, but to find out it's that little girl is crazy.
Right?
Well, yeah, that white girl avatar phase of rap was crazy, and I hope it's over. I don't think there's been any new ones lately, but God, that was just ridiculous.
Yes, it was.
Rona Raphael says, I just wanted to say thank you for this episode. As always, another awesome-tastic work. Sean says, I already posted too many long posts this week. Just wanted to say good episode. EVE says, I'm at an age where I can get injured sneezing. I remember sneezing so hard I put a muscle in my stomach. I exercise regularly, but if I get too intense, I don't recover like I used to, so I feel your pain. Yeah, and I think it's just because I had to do all that cardio, because I went back to the gym and I did the exercise routine I did the week before, and I was able to do all 4 sets. It took me a little longer than normal, but it wasn't like anything to stand. Like I wasn't like fatigued at the end or in any way that was where I couldn't finish the set. So I think it's just that when we did the latest one, I was doing 4 sets of row, bike, ski machine in a row with just a minute rest or 2 between sets, and so you do 3 and then you rest, then you do 3, then you do rest, and yeah, I think that's what it was. She says the white people news was white people in this episode. These are relaxing white people stories I like to hear. If they struggling too, we're all cooked as fuck.
Right?
Sean said, I once dislocated my shoulder teaching preschoolers.
Oh
yeah, but like, how was it? From punching them in their face?
I don't know. Not.
How did you do it? Like, you just, like you say, you dislocated teaching them. Was you teaching them some respect? I don't know. Miss Barnes says,
with your good pimp hand.
the all-time champion of sleep injuries has reported for duty. I really don't know what the hell I do sometimes when I just have went to bed and woke up to hip pain, leg pain, sore mouth, arm pain. The list goes on. Sometimes I wonder if I'm fighting demons in my sleep. If that's the case, I need a sword, but I digress. Let's see, YouTube. This was what happened to the platinum plan. Let's see how many comments. 19. Wow. Okay. All right, here we go. Karen B. Nolan says Hugh. Agreed.
Yay.
Nick the scientist says, I don't think Ice Cube is pivoting, but he claimed ignorance and now surprised at who Trump is. I think famous people like Cube just looking out for their own self-interest. What do you think I mean by pivoting? You described exactly what pivoting is.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I don't think he's pivoting. I just think he is fake surprise, because he put surprise in quotes, and claiming ignorance, and just because he's looking out for his self-interest. That's exactly what a pivot is.
We actually agree.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So you do think Ice Cube is pivoting. Cat B from DC says, I started feeling sympathy for Bad Bobby or Baby, maybe I forget how you say it, Bad Baby, after learning she went to that abusive camp Dr. Phil sent her to. Yeah, I remember that documentary. The Netflix documentary, the program, shed light on what she endured there. Was truly disturbing. She came across as surprisingly genuine, even a bit fragile. I really changed how I see her. Someone said, also knowing that her boyfriend is abusive as well, with her being so young, so you just hope she comes out on the other side okay. I 100% hear y'all. I feel what y'all saying. I think, honestly, I think a lot of what's happened for her is about her mom, basically being a weird show mom who would do anything for her daughter to be famous. Because the whole Dr. Phil thing is a setup anyway. Like, you take them on there. Oh, my child is so terrible. Anyway, buy her album, Catch Me Outside. How about that? And then she encouraged her and promoted her, because I think the undercurrent of it isn't necessarily about her being a good or bad person, because I think that is subjective and can change based on what circumstance you're looking at. I know what bad things happen to people, and then people a lot of times go, well, then that's why it's okay for you to be bad. I think what bothers me the most is that this is not a sympathetic world, meaning the social media world that will defend her is the same one that will take her down. Mm-hmm. Like, there's the same people that say horrible things about them. And the idea of using this connection to Black masculinity as this taboo thing has always bothered me. And Black culture is this taboo thing. It bothers me because it's not like she's saying, I come from this. It's like, how do I show society that I'm, rock and roll and a rebel and bad and dangerous? I just pretend to be a Black girl, because that's what she did. Like, she don't grow up and be with Black people. Anyway, I feel y'all. I hear what y'all saying. I don't think there's anything wrong with having empathy and sympathy for that girl, because I really think she was a child, and now she's an adult. And my guess is she will do and say some horrible shit sooner or later. And a lot of y'all that have been like, I have a lot of empathy for her, are going to have to struggle with that, because that's what a lot of people weaponize. This kind of idea of like, well, we want to be empathetic, but sometimes people just keep crossing the line till there's not much left to say.
Agreed.
And Kanye, Iggy Azalea, Zelia Banks, Amber Rose, like a lot of these people, it's just like whatever happened to them has warped them in such a way that there's just nothing you can do about it. But yeah, I feel y'all. Bree C says, Ice Cube, what? You were all for Trump. Dark Ninja says the Utah rape case could have been in the Guess the Race segment. Yeah, I've been trying to do my best to stay away from stuff that's too dark going in Guess the Race. We're trying to have fun and make light. And, I think sometimes the stories can get too dark. Sometimes there are dark things that happen. I'm not but like something like that, I wouldn't put in that, just cause It's just yuck. Damien says, bruh, you know them payments ain't going to the Gov/Treasury. That shit going to a special bank account set up by Trump and the Heritage Foundation. Yeah, no way.
Yes, it is.
No way they getting. No way that's going to us.
Direct deposit. The US.gov ain't getting shit.
It was somewhat serious for a moment, but overall good show. Thanks, Dark Ninja. Let's see. Damien says, is Ice Cube on the Candace Owens redemption tour, sir? Get the fuck out of here. Did your platinum turn into tinfoil or something? I definitely wouldn't be surprised if Clarence Thomas dealing the death blow to same-sex marriage and interracial marriage. Jenny be damned. Not really what works. Me ain't available for... Oh, because what works for me ain't available for thee. I see what you're saying.
Right.
Hunter Biden said it best. Fuck George Clooney. Karen is right in that we got to stop listening to celebs because they are disconnected from reality of the average person, says CJP. Yeah, great. Olivia Rodrigo isn't white. She's Filipino. You don't got to be white to be in white people news. But I appreciate the correction.
Yeah, white people just be talking about you. That's all that matters.
Black people be in white people news. It's not really about your race. It's what are white people talking about.
Yep.
Ms. Rose says, regarding the Cube, I'm 75% fuck with because Americans in general and people who would listen to Cube for political advice are as smart as a box of rocks. And then for Cube to endorse Dump's platinum plan and turn around and say, this is crazy. How do we get here? It's bullshit. And put a battery in their back to vote for Trump 2024. That's why we're here, Cube. Exactly. TKG1 says, damn, Rod punched Karen in the lip. Might need to change the name of the show to the black eye who tips. Laughing emojis. Anime Prince says, I haven't had a chance to catch you guys in a while. Great episode. My problem with Cube and the podcast bros is that they are people of means and resources, yet they choose to be misinformed and ignorant. And at least they do, and then they also choose to broadcast it to us.
Yeah, we didn't have to know.
You could be ignorant in private.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't need to know.
I can guarantee you in my lifetime, I was probably around a lot of dummies and just didn't know because the dummies didn't say nothing. Because back in the day, you say dumb shit, people be like, that shit is dumb.
None of them was curious enough to question anything because it was all about the big cutesy and being cutesy with the potential president and disrespecting the woman candidate, in my opinion. Yeah, the other thing I think about there too is these motherfuckers believe in every conspiracy theory except Project 2025.
Yep.
That's crazy. They question everything. Vaccines, taxes, Epstein files, everything. Every conspiracy, QAnon, they was on all of it. You say 2025, they like, what's that, man? Bro, I don't know. Andrew Schultz comes across my feed and all his excuse making is incoherent. That's why I believe you see people like Bill Burr and Mark Maron speaking up against these guys more forcefully because these white wing comedians are political now, while lying and saying that they are not.
Agreed. Once you step into the realm, you should be held accountable. Now, because this is go back to me and Roger's conversation. Yeah, you didn't have to do this. Once you put a voice out there, once you kind of tap your toe in, you cannot go back. So I can't sit here and watch you do this shit and then look me in my face and be like, that's not what I voted for. Bitch, yes it is. That's all you voted for. You were here. This is the things you told me. Just because you didn't, quote unquote, full-throated come out with your chest and say, I'm gonna vote for this nigga. You did. It's like it walk like a cat, it act like a cat, it's a cat, and you gonna tell me it's a goddamn dog. No, bitch, this is a cat. It meowed at me, bitch. And so you can't look me in my eye and tell me it's a goddamn dog and gaslight me and make me think I'm crazy.
Quichel says, I love the look on Karen's face when Ice Cube was talking my sentiments exactly. Yes, she was all of us. The poll, have you ever gotten injured but didn't remember how you got injured? 81% have, 19% have not. So shout out to the 19% that can remember all the cuts and scars. Mm-hmm. We'll see if I did it again next year. I feel like the number should be a little higher. Like,
yep.
Everybody get a year older. It's like, shit, got me. I remember the first time I sneezed and hurt my back. I was like, oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Me either.
I thought people was making a weird joke, but that is not a joke. It hurts. It's no joke. All right, let's go to the next one.
And not fun.
But first I'll play a song, The Gospel of Dr. Umar.
Fraudulent activity on a bank account is a federal offense. Fraudulent activity on a bank account is federal offense. Fraudulent activity on a bank account is a federal offense.
What happened, doctor? You went from Pan American to panhandling. Preaching from the pulpit, the doc got a plan. Stacking knowledge higher than the pyramid. Stand up on his chest, mind sharper than a dagger. Dropping heavy truth bombs, make the hater stagger. Y'all receipts longer than the Niles flow. Building schools, planting seeds where the minds grow. He the Prince of Pan Af, breaking mental chains. Blueprints for the culture running through his veins. Dr. Umar, where is the school going? Be done. When you started, my son was 12, now he's 31. Umar, where's the money? Yeah. I hear you begging for money on cash.
If you want to make a donation to FDMG, you must send it to me.
Fire every word a grenade.
Wow, that's a whole song.
A whole ass song.
All right, the next episode is 3141, the Epstein off ramp. We got 5 comments. Abia says, Azalea made me think about asses again. You discussed the topic in a former show. What exactly is a good ass in your opinion and the opinion of the listeners? I might also not know. I looked at my ass in the mirror. The good thing about it is visibly there and the round part is directed upwards when you look from the side. I wouldn't need any pads or push-ups, but of course, it's not as impressive as the ones who got some help from the plastic surgeon. Great that we could talk about the real important topics here. I don't really have much to say, man, about the ass thing. I think me and JL talked a little bit more about it the next day, but I'm really serious about it. Everybody's body is different.
Yep.
Everybody has their own preferences and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think what was funnier is the distinction in race for how ass is completely different in meaning to different people.
Agreed.
That's the only point I'm pointing out. Whether you like or don't, or what's good or bad about it, I think what should be taken from that discussion is his ass for everybody.
Yeah, it is.
Because there's somebody out there that I'm like, you think that's a big ass? And they're like, yes, and it's perfect. And I'm like, okay, good. Somebody for everybody. Cool. Like, so there you go. But yeah, it's definitely cultural because and I don't want to be on the show judging y'all's asses. That's just fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that y'all don't have nice butts and stuff, but it's just weird for me on the show to be like, send in pictures of your butts. Let me see. Okay, that's a 6. Okay.
No,
like it's just,
I would veto that idea, sir.
It's a weird fucking thing to do. But good luck. Also, don't you already have the perfect husband and family and shit? You don't need nobody to be on that ass. You good. Ernest says, sorry for commenting before I finished listening to the show, but regarding Beach Blanket Becky, let's make up names anyway. I'll start Annette Non-Funicello. No Funicello. That's funny. EVE says, I think by the time you get around to fucking with black people segment, everything gets at your cars before you even read a story because I'm already mad from the politics till we get mad segment. Well, we have been doing fucking with black people less because we're doing politics till we get mad.
Right.
I think Cardi, like Nicki, needs to take a break from the internet because clearly it's not good for her mental health. People talk about parasocial relationships and how it makes fans feel entitled to the celebrity's life, but it works both ways. Some of these celebrities feed off of the feedback they get from their fans, and it's probably why Cardi felt comfortable making those statements about fat people. Yeah, I mean, technically, our feedback show is a feedback show about feedback or whatever. But I'll tell you what the difference is. I think is, it's not an active designated space that she's like, I'm having this coordinated discussion with my fans.
Right.
It's just anyone can say anything, and then I feel like I can say anything, and then it is bound to hurt your feelings because these people are not all rooting for you. Some people just want to watch something burn.
Yes. And, the internet can give you, like I say, and they are of that group, like I say, who their rise came up through the internet. And so, it's hard for those people to separate the two. But, and it's a cycle because they praise you, they love you, they tell you the best. You do something they don't like, you're not shit, you're not worthy, you're unloved, you're ungrateful bitch, whatever it is, and then they love you again. It's a cycle, and that's not healthy for anybody because you're a whole ass human being that grows and evolves and changes and things like that. And I am like, everything is not meant to be for the internet. cry in private. Fuss, do there's certain things that I want to do in a safe space.
Mean, like I said,
but that's just me.
It's just a lot. I don't know. I think our brains are not wired for the internet for real, because our brains are still animal brains. And so it's like your brain, the dopamine in it is like, I'm talking to my friends, but these are not your friends. This is just an audience of people who may or may not like you.
Right.
But there's no, it is not the same as talking to people that root for you. It's not even necessarily talking to your fans once you're that famous.
Right.
And so some of the shit gets through, and I don't know if it's take a break, find a different way to relate or whatever, or just they've accepted that this is part of the cycle for them. They're going to get called out. They're going to be unapologetic. People are going to not like them. They're going to constantly be hurt that people don't like them because it's greedy. There's a greed there. I think the main thing for me that I like about it, and maybe it's petty or selfish or whatever, I don't know what I would describe it as, but I like Doja Cat, Cardi B, Lizzo, Beyonce. I like when they do stuff where they're not perfect, and yet people, especially black women in the age of the internet, social media, find themselves kind of either making excuses or justifying it or siding with them or appreciating their defiance. And it's not because I think they're right. I think it's probably it's wrong to back someone who is being actively wrong when you know better. You should be like, yeah, that's fucked up. Cardi should apologize, and she's fucked up for that. But what I like about it is because it's an honesty to the fact that people are like, wait, I like this person and I don't want to give them up.
Right.
Because on the internet anyway, everyone tries to make every other group give up their quote unquote bad person. And bad, I don't necessarily mean like evil criminal. I just mean they've said something problematic. They've done something that you don't appreciate, whatever. Stuff that we used to be like, yeah, that person did that. That was fucked up. And then we'd be like, that was just one thing they did. And we move on from the rest, right? It has been nice to see that everyone has that same impulse, because I see it as a straight black dude. I see it all the fucking time, and I try to avoid it myself, to where it's like I'm just defending this guy because he reminds me of other straight black men. It's like, if you do something wrong, you did something wrong. I don't see any harm in admitting they did something wrong. I also don't think every time somebody says or does something wrong that it's get rid of them time either. I think, and the point is, I think what I'm saying is very normal. Meaning, I think most people think what I'm saying is normal. The vast majority of people know exactly what the fuck I mean when I'm like, yeah, I don't think, for example, when Chance the Rapper used to defend Kanye West, I'll be like, shut the fuck up, Chance. But I wasn't like, fuck Chance the Rapper forever. It's on site. It was like, shut the fuck up. But what happens is, on the internet, other people, so now you got black women, it's like, if a black woman would have said that, y'all would have got rid of her. It's like, I don't know that that's true, but okay, if that, you think we're just defending Chance because he's a black man. Okay. It's been nice to see people just defend Cardi, just defend Doja Cat. Because I'm like, at least you have some humanity where you can admit, damn, me too sometimes. I struggle with this too. I'm not as black and white as I pretend to be.
Right.
It is much easier to be black and white with other people's faves and groups and representation, because it was really never about that for me. It was just like, I don't fuck with them anyway. That was an easy one. It's not a layup to get rid of Doja Cat, especially in a world where you see how disposable people like that are. You're like, shit, yeah, she did fuck up, but like, if that was blank star, if that was because that was another thing. A friend of mine was like, Cardi and Lizzo and some of these people that's so on the internet, and that her identification with this was like, I think part of me feels defensive of them because they're black women and they get it harder than other people. And I was like, yes, but can we take it one step further? White women that are stars like this don't be on their IG live like that. So the question is, and it's not a cultural thing, I don't think. I'm saying they feel protected and established enough from the industry that they don't think they got to reach directly out to fans every day through Twitter Spaces or whatever the fuck else some of these black women have to do, because they like, man, my shit is precarious. I can't depend on the record label and all this shit. I need to go talk to these people every day when I'm doing my makeup or whatever.
Yeah, because if something happens, I might have to go to them to directly support
I need them
me.
to feel a connection to me that I don't think I can safely get from just popping up and being like, I got an album. Okay, see you guys in a couple of years. Like, no, I think I need to always be on. And so I think that's where race actually does affect it, is that feeling of like precariousness that you can never just chill. Because we all say like, why don't these black women just get off the internet? I'm like, they probably don't think they can. They probably do not think I can disappear from the internet and still be popping a year from now, 2 years from now, when I'm like, guys, I'm back with a new single. Beyonce can do it, but a lot of black women probably will never feel that level of comfort.
Right.
And the reason I wanted to point it out is because Chaperone used to be on TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, all this shit all the fucking time.
Yep.
And it drove her fucking crazy. It drove her, people was on her ass because she could not be perfect and consistent all the time. And so that, to me, is why I say the bigger point is not necessarily the racial point. It's the point of the internet, social media. This is the currency of the internet. This rage, this call out, this controversy, this clickbait, this out of context shit. That is the bigger picture to me. And so whether Cardi or Lizzo or Chaperone or whoever, it's always going to end up right here where we're like, yo, Cardi said a thing and people got mad, and then she got mad and then everybody was mad, because the mad is the currency for real.
Yeah, the mad is the currency.
That's what we're selling. I saw the original video where she made the joke, and being someone who has struggled with weight most of my life, I personally didn't take offense, but it's not up to me to decide what should and shouldn't offend other people. Yeah, that's basically how I live too. It's like, like people be saying shit and I'd be like, a different person would have been upset by this. I might not be upset by it, but you know, I do pick up on it and I can recognize it. And it's just, it happens a lot. Like fat phobia is so fucking serious in our society. It happens a lot. It's just not, it's just built into it. And I think, you know, in my opinion, look, you could take up the mantle and go, I'm going to fight all these people for the rest of my life. I personally, for the most part, just kind of try to go, okay, this exists. How am I going to navigate my day anyway? And how do I try not to let that shit into my soul? Because it hasn't been helpful for me. It hasn't made me motivated to change my life through shame and guilt and pain and anger and all that stuff. I know that's what motivates some people. That's not for me. And I think if that was a motivating factor, they would have got you already, right? If it was like, I've struggled with my weight, but thank God Cardi B said, I ain't making no 3X shirts, you fat bitch. That's what got my life together. If then your life would have been got together the 27 other times somebody said some bullshit like that. But ultimately people exist in privilege and they don't gotta think about that shit, you know? And I'm sure we all exist in some levels of privilege and communicate in such a way that there's people who are hurt by those intersections when we don't see ourselves walking through them or jaywalking across them. So our hurt will hurt others and we will be hurt by others. And that's just part of life. Life is pain and we're going to have to live with it sometimes and decide when you're going to fight on that battle for that. She's so famous that she said that, and then a woman who is a content creator for fighting against fat phobia is like, oh, content. Now, who knows? I feel like if I look into her, I'm going to find some people that go, I don't like her. And she said some things that aren't perfect.
Right.
It's kind of just the currency of the internet. I also think that lady Samia likes to create problems for content in the name of activism for fat people. So there you go. And like I said, I don't know her work like that. You seem to know it. And you're saying as a bigger person yourself, you think she be doing too much. Got it. For example, she films herself going into stores that claim to be size inclusive, but when she can't find her size, she harasses the store clerks with cameras pointing in their faces, and that's why they don't have her size. Yeah, that does seem fucked up.
Yeah.
I don't understand how
because they ain't got nothing to do with that. They just work there.
Yeah, they're not making decisions at the top of the chain.
Right.
I don't understand how that tactic is okay. Wouldn't it be better to contact the corporate office or the owners of the stores instead of harassing the person who has no control over what gets stocked in the stores?
Right.
I think her cause for fat inclusivity is a righteous one, but at the end of the day, she's also a content creator seeking clicks. Yeah. The content creation part of all this shit and the clicks, it undermines all of us. It just is. It is. And you do more and more outlandish shit for the clicks, and whether it's helping people or not, it kind of becomes secondary. Most important thing is that the camera's pointed at you and you're the one causing whatever the commotion is. And so, it's a competition. There's somebody else out there that's like looking at her clicks going, fuck, she got 6 million off that shit.
Mm-hmm.
What can I do? You know?
Yep.
Shubudu says the way I can't differentiate Bill Pullman and Bill Paxton by name is the same way I can't get Iggy Azalea and Azalea Banks straight. 2 names, 2 different problematic people. Yeah, mine is Jack Nicholson and Jack Nicholas. I don't know which one played golf and which one's an actor. Got to see their faces. Ms. Barnes says, shout out to my older and younger sister for still having their AOL email addresses. When you played the dial-up sound, a core memory was unlocked, and memories of the monitor with my fat ass back, the tower that with the fat ass back. Okay, the monitor had a fat back. Yes. The tower that I was like, why did you say what? Okay, I get it. The tower that doubled as shelf, and
it did. That shit was thick and wide.
And nights spent on a dope friend finder came rushing back. Rest in peace, AOL dial-up. You were the realest MVP back in the early 2000s.
I know if somebody get a resume now with an AOL, they treat it like you said, like it's a black person's name. Fuck AOL.
Right. All right, let's get to YouTube. We got 16 comments over here. Dark Namja left a bunch. She says, I was wondering why the distinction was made. I thought everyone knew. I think he's talking about me saying Karen's my wife. It's just funny to me to say it. There's nothing that happened. There's no reason I'm saying it. I just think it's funny.
And every now and then we get somebody go, I didn't know y'all was married.
Yeah. I think it's funny that every once in a while we're blowing somebody's mind with that.
Yes.
Somebody was just like, what? They just cool as hell and got a podcast together.
Right.
The Teamsters represent 1.4 million working men and women in virtually every occupation throughout the United States and Canada, including many in the construction industry. 2/3 of the Teamster members work in one of the 5 divisions: warehouse, parcel, freight, public employees, and industrial trades.
Thank you.
Ramsey replied, members are blue collar and white collar workers in both sectors, public and private. Dr. Namda says, absolutely, banks mailing new credit cards is way too obvious. Oh yeah, for that thief. $56,000 a year in benefits is a nice little piece depending on where you live. She gave it all up for that thug life. Thanks for another good show. 5 stars for the humor, love, and joy you both radiate despite the world falling apart, says Ramsey PH done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kim Doc says, I still remember that Iggy Azalea freestyle on Sway in the Morning about the worst thing I've ever heard. God, it was so bad. Please go listen to that if you haven't. It's astounding. I always thought she was an industry plant that failed. Yeah, that was wild. Wild times. S. Carter says, why did I think for the most of the story you were talking about Azalea Banks instead of Iggy Azalea? I totally forgot about that little lost girl. Both are so forgettable. Damien says, so it's really wild for your union to sell you out to the boss. Those hard-earned union dues definitely got to be put to good use. Not, you mean identity politics, voting Republican, voting for whiteness? So when Jeffrey was in jail the first time, he had the same kind of cushy deal where he got to come and go almost as he pleased, basically weekend lockup. Jeffrey Epstein, I'm assuming. Cardi B, said the girl on the other side of the road, Cardi B better turn it down because when her album drops and doesn't top Nicki Minaj, she'll become the joke and they start clowning her. She better not show up crying. That is a good point. I did not think about that. Yeah,
because that's the bullshit.
That's a lot of pressure on her with that album, because if it's any level of a flop, these same people that, quote unquote root for her will absolutely go in on her because they know it gets to her, and they really be wanting that attention.
Yes.
Biz Drone says a great discussion, a lot of crazy happening, but I'm more than ready. Islander or Isenders says, I just got here. Thank you for explaining y'all are married. See? That was fun. Jason says, yo, when Trump is done with the Smithsonian, the founding fathers will be Washington, Jefferson, and Ronald McDonald. I love the Teamster discussion. I love how people saying the Dems abandoned unions when unions basically defected right after black people in the South got the right to vote. Those Southern white Democrats couldn't handle black people being included and voted for Reagan, who destroyed the unions. 50 years later, and people are still telling the Dems abandoned the working class. Lie. Finally, the funny thing about how some of the pod bros are turning on Trump is that I don't think it's about Trump being unpopular now. I think it's true. They've lost some of their audience since Trump has been in office, but I think that partly because he's now competition for them instead of a collaborator. If you wanted bigoted conspiracy theories, why would you listen to Rogan or Schultz when you got that pure uncut in the White House? I disagree. I don't think it's because they think Trump is competition. I don't. I think all those people can't wait to be in the room with him again. I think they're going to be at UFC with him. I think they're lying even about being like hurt by him. I think this strictly that these motherfuckers care so much about their own egos and platforms that loss of popularity, that loss of standing within their podcast and comedian social circles, I think it hurts them, and I think it's the only thing they care about. I don't even think they care about his policies or the people hurt by him. Yeah, and I don't even think Trump is giving you enough conspiracy theories from the White House. He actually he's no longer truly like giving you like, man, this QAnon, right? Like it's like I won. Like if anything, can y'all stop talking about Epstein? That's enough.
Right.
Here's a non-conspiracy. Can't y'all care about this? The one y'all don't care about? Like I don't think it's competition at all. But that's just my opinion. The poll: have you ever had your credit card stolen? 42% yes, 58% not.
I don't think
that's a high percentage.
I don't think I have.
I don't think I've had mine stolen, but that is a high percentage.
Mm-hmm.
One out of almost every two of us had a credit card stolen. Shit. All right, last episode for these comments. 3142 Straight L Covan got 10 comments on this one. And I watched this special, Trump versus Canada. It's on YouTube. It's free. Hilarious. It's so good. It's so fucking good. I won't spoil anything for you, but
jail is so over the top.
The water, when y'all get to the water, y'all will know. Tag me, hit me on Twitter. That was the funniest. If I was drinking water, I would have spit it out. That's how funny it was. But just only one dude can do that. Like I'm not the stickler on Trump impressions the way JL is, because obviously JL does it the most and the best, so he's able to like evaluate like why someone's doesn't work, why okay he got this element but not that. Being on stage for an hour 15 minutes as Trump extemporaneously, and then the audience lobbing the questions at you, and then you're turning that into stand up.
Everybody can't do that.
That's one of those like, yeah, okay, like you get to be the guy that does this, because not these other people, I won't go so as far as to call them like hacks or anything disrespectful, but like these other people are not playing the same game.
No, you
know what I mean? It's like some people are doing like, I want to do a home run derby. Some people are, running 40s. JL is just completely becoming that dude, but still making it funny on that stage. And the quality was great. The drone shot, whatever that thing was cool. And he was on fire. The audience was eating it up. And the audience is even doing that thing where like, they're not supposed to eat all of it up. It is Trump. So like, sometimes he'll say something and it's funny, but part of the funny is that the audience would be like, this fucking guy, why did he say that?
Right.
Like the audience for a second forgets like, this is Trump. Like, this is not JL Covan, this is Trump. And then he says something so disgusting, they forget that it's JL for a second. They're like, fuck you. Oh wait, no, that was funny. I
forgot.
You were he is a piece of shit who would think that was okay. Anyway, I loved it. So highly recommend, and it's free. Go check it out. Ronan Raphael says JL Cavan is the GOAT. My goodness, I knew I had to be indoors by the Bernthal impression. Then Jeffries and Billy Bob Thornton had me on the floor. I didn't even know you really could do Billy Bob that good. That was a good Billy Bob. I saw a commercial with Billy Bob that night, and I was just thinking of JL. I was like, damn, he nailed that shit. Headed to the special right after this episode. Oh, the booty and butt talk bring back memories when a brother about to complete 20 years in the Navy educated my then rookie ass into both Navy and America on the language of cuck and dick as a black person. Cuck and dick as a black person.
Do you mean cock?
He must have meant cock. Yes. Okay. Yes. Cuck is some completely different
thing.
Shit.
Yes.
It's really not about black people at all. Great episode. And JL was 100 about the orange skank moving as a rapist. I voted yes because if that fool feels it'll distract from Epstein, he'll go after Macron, who has insulted him before. A great episode again. Dexter says, loved hearing JL on the show. Huge respect for his charity work. I don't usually write in, but I would be remiss if I didn't say the joke that came into my head while JL was ranking booties. The ranking below cupcake could have been pancakes. Yes. Sorry, I'll see myself out. No, that's perfect. I talk about that all the time in my personal life. Appia says, thanks for the more scientific butt discussion. Now I understand it more. I'm perfectly happy with what I'm sitting on. My interest is to understand this subject more. Yeah, sure. I assume that you would be perfectly happy with your butt. That, you seem to give off perfectly happy vibes about yourself. And so if anything, I don't want the show to be delve into, making people feel bad about their bodies and shit, especially with a lot of shit people just can't help.
Yeah,
and
can't control.
Also, like, everybody's not entitled to be into everybody else and vice versa. Like, we got to get that out of our head, decolonize that. And lastly, somebody into everything, dog.
Yes, they are.
And if you're a traditional Eurocentric white lady, you don't need the blackout tips to boost your confidence. The world is doing enough to boost it, and everything is taken from it is taken even more from other people. So it's just, we just got to live through this shitty world, man. Everybody making each other feel bad about their bodies all the goddamn time for no reason. Classic R&B Lover says, this is not episode specific, as I will get to the ep over the weekend. Rod, I'm listening to you on Karen Hunter right now, and not to tell you what to do, but to tell you what to do. You and Karen should definitely have Move-In Day Mafia on the podcast. The more people who know, the more help they might be able to receive for this phenomenal cause. The program not only supports and validates students, but this is how we as a community show them that people care. You can listen to the replay, SiriusXM. It may also come up on Karen Hunter's YouTube channel, but I'm not sure. But we talked to TJ from the Move-In Day Mafia. These people, this is an organization that takes kids who would not have like necessarily a family and support unit or whatever to help them move into college dorms, and they move them in, and they furnish their dorms, and they give them like monthly boxes and stuff so that they can have supplies and all this stuff. You can sponsor kids, you can mentor kids, you can pay for to donate so that they can help people with the moving expenses. It's a really cool program, and yeah, I learned about it from Karen Hunter, and it was cool. And TJ has such great energy.
They were doing that work.
Yeah, and they stay busy. This is their busiest time right now. Shoe Booty says the cake scale goes in reverse too. Below cupcakes, we have Little Debbie, then a pancake, me sadly, then a crepe. I don't know what's below crepe. I'm afraid to find out. Abby says I might need to explanation here. Trey says cakes equal another name for butts. Types of cakes equal butt sizes. Hopefully that helps. I don't know. Abby seems pretty obsessed with these butts. She's giving the lady who doth protest too much. She's very into these butt measurements. That's the scientist coming out. Great episode, great special, says Sean. EVE says there are a few reasons why J-Lo isn't selling tickets. One, Vegas is having a tourism issue, and she has a large Latino fan base. The way ICE has been on the loose, I doubt many people want to risk being out in public, non-necessary trips. Two, the economy is tanking. Three, she's not a great live singer. Well, three doesn't count. Because that's been true the whole time, and she was fucking selling out all kinds of places. We knew she wasn't a great live singer. So three, you can't, that's fucked up. You just wanted to shit on her not being a great live singer. But we knew that. So the times have changed. The first two is a good point.
Yeah, first two are valid.
She need that studio enhancer to make her sound good. Kelly Clarkson's ex was a horrible human being, but not only did he cheat on her with her assistants, he stole $2 million of her funds when he was acting in capacity of her manager. Damn. Woo. When they got divorced, he got $1 million in alimony and $50K a month in child support, even though she won full custody. What?
God damn.
He sucked, as the saying goes. I'm not going to say he deserved to die, but God, timing is always right. Miss Barnes says, it's always a good time when JL's on the show. Also, it warmed my heart to see Kundis in distress. She really looked stressed out. Hair looked more uneven. Wondering if she's getting to get back up, if she's going to get back up that she does not deserve, and she will not. In a world where I shake my head looking at the news, it warms my heart to see Kundis suffering at her own hands. You love to see it. Agree. I agree. I don't be feeling this. Like, whenever somebody get their just desserts and they've just been fucking around like this, I don't be feeling whatever it is that make people be like, man, it's so sad. I'll be like, nope, come up, this is good. Time. I've been waiting. I've been looking at the clock like, come on, Karma, let's go. Ghost Azul says, always great when JL is in the house, must see TV. Dark Nandra says, second show on the road, did someone question your relationship? No, it's just funny. It's funny to me every time. I don't know why you want.
And see, somebody wrote in, it was like, I didn't know y'all was married, so it's always a surprise to somebody.
Endless 5 stars anytime our cousin JL is on the podcast. Kim Doc says, even as a Giants fan, I've never liked Saquon. Crazy talented and congrats on the Super Bowl, but now the post-win decision making has been cringy and telling. This turn he's taken is satisfying to me. That I can't respect the office is losing so many support. Christoph says, as an Eagles fan, I would like to say thank you for your team's front office, but I agree. The offseason shenanigans have been very distasteful. Yep. Damien says, sometimes it's so hard to listen to JL. His Trump impressions are just too good. Great show as always. Yeah, he is really good. I always struggle whenever I put the Trump impression intro to our podcast on an episode, because it's so good that it's like hearing Trump say, like, I listen to the Blackout Tips, but because he did it so good, but I still like, y'all need to get this work. JL is definitely the most mentioned person on here, says Leonard Brothers. Meryl Streep, Kim Doc says, Meryl Streep is falling down the steps, is just giving Jason Derulo Met Gala stare tumble that we can never confirm is real or not. It pops up every single year. If JL is ever in your city, go check him out. To me, he's funnier than the mainstreamers and is leagues and miles. And he did impressions for like 10 minutes straight. Yeah, and the thing is, like, he's not dependent upon impressions, which I would not have. I personally, and maybe this just, I have less integrity or whatever the fuck, or just less self-sabotage than JL. I would 100% be like, I'll get up here for an hour and do impressions. He don't do that. Like, he does them as they are germane to the bit, but it's not just let me get up here and do like, oh, here's my so-and-so impression, here's me, let me find a way to do John Bernthal, let me find a way to do this. I like when he's on the show as a guest, because like, he's also a very willing guest in that if something we're talking about sparks his imagination and it's like an impression he can do, he'll try it. And when it clicks like that's like magic. That's like watching a magic trick for the first time. Like the John Bernthal thing will always be a personal favorite, because I don't think he knew he could do it, and then we were talking, and as we were talking, he started doing it, and then it was so fucking good, and it's only gotten better over time. And it's like, man, we got to be a part of magic. We got to get on stage and get sawed in half, and our toes are still moving. It's fucking like, how are you not fucking impressed by this?
Right.
But yeah, I'm like I said, he's so worth seeing it, and it's everybody went to our live show.
Everybody went to a live show. That was a treat.
Yeah. Shout out to the cupcakes and cake girlies. Little booties matter, says Miss Rose. They do matter. Okay, it's not all just the booties. Okay, something out there for everybody. We got stuck on booties. I do love butts. Don't get me wrong, but like,
I like big butts, and I cannot lie.
Yeah, JL also talked about calves. It's something somebody into everything.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, and somebody right now jacking off the feet. It's just
they are. It's a whole genre of porn.
Yeah, get in where you fit in, man.
Mhm.
I don't know. We get way too caught up on like what people don't got. The girl on the other side of the road. I love JL. I started watching him since your live show. He really does the best Trump impression. He always says that he's mixed. However, I wonder with what. Doesn't he know that this is a prank from life? The minute he moves to Canada, no one will show up. It's like life sees him happy and he be like, not on my watch. Well, I know
that's hilarious.
I believe he's Haitian and Irish, which he talks about on his premium show, JL Max Plus Prime on Patreon. But he also it comes up all the time in his work and stuff.
JL Max Plus Prime.
But yeah. So as Karen Hunter pointed out, it's so funny that the person that does the best Trump impression is a black man, and nobody would necessarily know it off of just looking. But it is such an irony. I'm sure Trump would not like that. Sydney says, he's like, I'm more of a fan of the white half. Some people
we
say
can disregard that other half.
Yeah, some people say they like, I think the white half is what's doing funny.
Can we deport the quarter black of him?
All right. Sydney says, I always love when JL is on. Jason says, now between us, JL is a comedic genius. I'm making sure not to tell him that because like Mary J, I think he's at his best chronically unhappy. I'm a bit, well, no, you should tell him because that's what makes him even more unhappy is to be like, you're a genius and it's just not working out for you. Because then it's like, God damn it, why not? I'm a bit frightened that he's out here succeeding. As we know, JL jinx works both ways. So if he gets out of here getting all the things he's worked hard and sacrificed to get, we can pretty much count on another pandemic or global recession.
Oh no.
Well, we'll see, man. I mean, you're saying he's thriving and he's doing, but he's got a job now.
A real job.
He's going into the office and helping the community.
JL got a real job. What is wrong?
So I don't know I think that we're safe.
Yeah, ain't no yucks trying to help them kids.
Yeah, I think we're safe right now. Now, if he somehow, I don't know, gets involved in like the biggest lawsuit against New York City cover up for abuse or some shit, now we gotta worry. If like you turn on TV and he's in front of City Hall talking about we didn't land on Plymouth Rock or some shit, then we gotta be like,
we gotta be concerned.
The nuke is already armed.
Yes.
If he messes around and gets on Netflix, we should all go blow our retirement money. We ain't making it. I will say I don't think JL catches strays on the show. Those shots appear pretty well aimed. Yeah, it is. Though they're just rubber bullets. I do empathize with Mayor Bowser. It's always different when you're the one in charge. It's easy for congressmen and senators to talk that talk because they're not. They're not executives. I honestly had no issue with her taking down the Black Lives Matter Plaza because it was being real. That was always just a heat check. I can't believe that was ever up to begin with, and somehow they keep telling us how crime is at a 30-year low, all without giving her any credit for that tough gig. That part is very interesting. That part, you know what? That is a really good point, Jason. And I try to do my best to stay away from the pile-ons because I just think the pile-ons reward harshness and unfairness, and I try not to live in that space because I don't like to go there. I like to at least feel like I'm being fair. So even when I truly, truly dislike someone, I feel like I've been fair about this assessment. I actually don't be knowing what's going on in DC like that.
Nope.
And so I can't speak to it. Her constituents can speak to it, but I know in general it's very tough for Black mayors to be beloved for long. It's not that it's impossible. I think almost everybody loves a new Black mayor. Shit, when Murray Bowser got the job, I remember people going up for her. But it just, and they didn't like the woman before with the book sales or some weird shit. Like, I just know that there seems to be an expiration date on a lot of this stuff, and with it not being my city, it ain't my problem. So if people want to get her out of there and get somebody that they think will be better in, they should do that, and then we'll see if the next person makes them feel better.
Right.
I know Keisha Lance Bottoms, same thing. our mayor currently, Vi Lyles, who had the GOP convention here.
Yes,
like,
she did.
Same thing. Like I don't know what the right answers are. And I'm not even saying people are wrong to dislike people. I just know when I don't have enough information to stay the fuck out of it. It's the reason that our podcast doesn't talk about Mamdani and New York City a lot. I don't know. I hope he's on the up and up. I hope people that think he's going to fix everything go out and vote for him and he wins and he does everything he says. But at the same time, if we're 2 years away from y'all doing the same shit that happened with Bill de Blasio, where he was seen as the dude and then all of a sudden 2 years in, he was like, fuck Bill de Blasio. Okay, I don't live there. Y'all got to live with the policies. I'm worried about Vi Lyles and what the fuck we going to do here in our upcoming primaries for our city council and shit. I'm not. So I can't get into the minutia of DC politics. I just know it is definitely a tough job. And anyone who thinks it's not is probably just a hater that probably don't like her and want us to be like, it's an easy job. Why she fuck it up? It's probably a tough job. And especially under this fucking administration, it can't have made it any easier that this motherfucker's in charge. So good luck to the residents, because that's who really gonna suffer under all of this shit. Whether she capitulates or fights, the people are gonna be made to suffer more than any mayor can. And I've already seen the Twitter is kind of galvanized against her because like she had to go get her kid from Martha Vineyard for something. Like she cut vacation early to go get her kid, but they didn't report it in that context. They reported it as the city is under National Guard, she goes to Martha's Vineyard, making it sound like she was going on vacation in the middle of the thing. So anyway, it's telling because most people are just gonna read that headline and go, this bitch. And it wasn't even attached, if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't even attached to a link to a story. It was just a tweet. I was like, damn. And then, of course, thank God I follow some more nuanced and educated people, because they were like, no, that's not the exact framing. Here's what's actually happening. And I was like, oh, shit, man. But it lets you know they really got it out for her when they start being like, hey, this is going to make her look bad. Print it. Don't put the context in there.
Right.
Because normally with black people and black women on Twitter, especially in the circles I run in, they normally do more than they're going to make sure you get your fair shot. Once they stop doing that, it's like they don't fuck with you when they start putting out the hit pieces that hope that you get fucked up. So anyway, the poll. Will Trump come to Candace Owens' rescues? Yes or no?
No.
95%? No. 5% yes. And I think that's Raphael. Ronan Raphael says because something about, I forget what his reasoning was, but yeah, I don't think so. All right, let's get to the voicemails, but let's play a song first. Let's see. How about this? Fuck, what was I gonna? Here we go. Don't bring me down. All right. Got 2 voicemails here. Let's see the first one. Yay!
They said they can't hear anything.
Oh, God. This is so crazy, man. This is that thing I was talking about where
you played before.
Yeah, I think it's because I can't share this screen because it would give you guys his phone number. Give me a second. Let me just open it in a different browser. Shit. Yeah, that makes sense though. Oh, because I can't share the screen. I think if I share the screen, you guys can hear it, but if not, you can't. All right, so we'll start over again.
Hey, Rod and Karen, this is Brandon, a.k.a. Black Bear Travelers. Yeah, long-time listener, first-time caller. Always wanted to say that. But just listening to the 21 Jack Salute episode, and to give you some information about jobs reports, the numbers are actually released throughout the year, and they'll give you the rough estimates as they come. But then there are often updates that come like 2-3 months later to get like things that took longer to actually populate and matriculate through the system. So they always readjust the numbers within like a 2 to 3 month period after the original reports come out. So that's why you kind of hear the variance from back in June, July, and May to now. All right, I'll finish the episode. Later.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Like I said, y'all keep me on point here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to start or spread no conspiracy theories.
Mm-mm.
So, but I'm not gonna lie. Everything I said earlier, I'm still thinking. Like, not that
only because of who's in charge.
Yeah, just
right.
like, is there pressure to make them hire under this administration? I just can't imagine that there's no pressure, and I hope people don't cave to it. I don't want to impugn that person's personal sensibilities, and I hope that the feeling I'm having is completely not based in anything. I hope
Agreed.
I hope that they're just like, this is the job and they fire me for doing a good job.
But you never know.
Yeah. All right, last voicemail.
Hi Karen, hi Rod. It's O'Neill in Chicago, and I just wanted to call in. I thought about not calling in, but I did want to call in just because I wanted to hear the Karen Be Knowing music. As someone from the Deep South who grew up listening to way too much Boosie, I just wanted to let you know that Boosie's nickname was given to him by his parents or grandparents. I don't remember. But the reason that he's called Boosie is because his parents or grandparents were big fans of Boosie Collins. So Karen inadvertently was right once again. She was not confused. She knew the whole time.
Who knew?
She knew. But yeah, I mean, obviously he's taken a different path in life than I expected, and I'm not defending any of his actions, but I just thought it would be funny to hear the Karen Be Knowing music, because he was in fact right. He was named after Boosie Collins. Okay, love you guys. Bye.
I was right about something.
You was right. All right. Last thing is
hilarious.
The emails, but I want to play one more beat just in case I decide to put a commercials here or not, because I don't remember.
Okay.
Here we go.
This can't be true.
All right. That was DJ Jaffa, and it was... Wait, why is it... That's weird. I thought I had just... Oh, okay. All right, forget the title. What was the title? Oh, Love Can't Be True. There we go. All right. Comments. Florida man with all the wives. This is from Anonymous. Hi, Rod and Karen. I just wanted to comment on the Florida man polygamous guest race story. I'm going to remain anonymous because we grew up in the same small town. I happen to know him and his family.
Oh.
Nothing to add to the story, but I will clarify that his eyes are absolutely real. He and his entire family had the same green hazel eyes and lovely brown skin. I had the biggest crush on him growing up, and he always smelled good, which says a lot for a high schooler. Thanks for all the wonderful shows, Anonymous. Oh, so I guess he was out here weaponizing them eyes.
It was not contacts.
Leading these white women astray.
Yeah, he was.
Jay Sizzle writes in, weapons. Good morning, sir. My finest regards to the missus. So this one's for me.
Hey, baby.
To keep it brief, I think your review of weapons was coming from a disingenuous place.
Oh, shit.
The premise of your argument seemed to stem from the backlash you witnessed on the white man's Twitter and not from the actual experience seeing the movie. Obviously, I'm a bit biased because I loved the movie. As a black who loves a good scare, this has been a great movie year. Anyway, so much for brief. We can still be friends even when we disagree. Have a great day. Jelani.
You haven't even seen it, have you?
Nope.
Right. And the thing is, baby, he was talking about other people, other movie critics were arguing online about this movie, which caused him to say he didn't want to watch it. So the opinions actually were not his. The opinions were these other people. Some said that they loved it. Some said that it didn't have a plot. It didn't have a point. They also said, that it just was all over the place. Roger literally, because I was like, I don't think Roger has watched this movie. He hadn't even watched the movie yet, baby, just so you know that.
Yeah, and the other thing I said was that people were watching it so they could go argue about it.
Yes.
Not to discuss it, but to fight on the internet. And what exactly is this email?
Oh, snap.
I rest my case.
Your Honor.
I said, I would like to thank you for confirming my point. I never reviewed weapons and I never said it was good or bad. I said I witnessed people who watched the movie preferring to go online and argue about the movie more than praise the movie, which is exactly what you just did. I'm not arguing about the movie at all. I haven't seen it and will probably not see it until December now because of stuff like what you just wrote, leaving a huge distaste for the discussion about the movie in the first place. He replied, first of all, you right.
That's hilarious.
That is correct, and I am right, and I am gonna play the song as well, because why would I not play my jam if we're gonna say that I'm right about something? Oh wait, it's Rod was right. I'll put Rod is right. Here we go.
Rod is right. Yep, Rod is right. Rod is right. Rod is right. Yep, Rod is right. Yeah, Rod is right. Whoop, what was that again? Oh yeah, Rod was right. Rod was right.
Big pet peeve of mine is people saying shit that I didn't say. So, I've learned to temper my defensiveness and triggered response, because no one needs to get that first dose of just hot rage that isn't called for. But as I was reading, I was like, is he fucking with me? Like, what is the point of this? This is definitely not what I said. Anyway, he goes, I was actually coming back here to apologize once I listened to the rest of the segment. It was more so a critique on the discourse. I'll stand down. You should still stay off that white man's Twitter, though. Peace.
I think I'm outlast that white man.
I'm going to tell you right now.
I'm not going nowhere.
Your argument against me staying off the white man's Twitter would work if you hadn't sent me an email that was just as toxic as Twitter.
That's
so
hilarious.
Sound like is the platform the problem, or is it the people? I don't know.
I think it might be the people.
No one talked to me crazy like this on Twitter when I brought up this point. Glasses Slash would be grateful for your advice. Hey Rod, as longtime Glasses wearer, I think you will relate to the story, as I very much value your opinion. I would be curious what you would do in this situation. I know you hate reading long emails, so I apologize in advance if this is a bit wordy. But yeah, if you have time, okay, all right. It's a 5.5 week long saga. So lens crafters ruined a perfectly good pair of glasses during a routine adjustment, and at first denied responsibility, and then promises of restitution that were not forthcoming. In the interim, I had to buy an inferior backup pair of glasses to get me through until lens crafters got their shit together. I won't bore you with all the details except to say that a lot more happened over the next 4 weeks, and I was very, very displeased with the response I was getting. That's when I went stalker and tracked down multiple regional and corporate execs, which resulted in the executive VP of the company and the regional VP getting back to me soon after I made contact. Oh, okay, cool. That the way that sentence started, I was like, and then you went stalker and tracked. What are you? You about to be Luigi?
No, you actually had to find, because a lot of times that's
I know what they mean. Yeah. I'm saying the way the sentence started. That's when I went stalker and tracked down multiple regional and corporate execs.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I'm like, however the sentence ends, do not implicate my black ass in a crime, because I will absolutely send this to the feds.
This will be evidence. Number one.
Let's just say after several children showed up missing, I got my glasses back.
Right. After several ransom notes.
Right. But they got back to me soon after I made contact. Mysteriously, my new glasses arrived within 48 hours of this contact after 4 weeks of nothing. Could be a coincidence. Or it could be these glass executives not that busy. Because I'm like, you need a VP of the glasses company. How busy are you? You probably all you do is probably get emails from people like, y'all fucked up my glasses. Like, all right, I get on it. So my last weekend when I went to pick up my new glasses, the first thing I noticed was a giant scratch in the middle of one of the lenses. And while I didn't freak out, I immediately went into an inner rage. I reached back out to the regional VP by text to let her know what had happened. She assured me that it would be made right. I was furious. Again, sparing you a lot of the minutia of the transaction. The end result is this. I got my glasses fully reimbursed, $700 back from Luxottica. I got my backup glasses paid for by LensCraft for $300. They ordered and comped yet another pair of glasses for me with the best progressive transition lenses they sell. A substantial upgrade over the glasses I had. I got those today, overnighted right to my house. It took less than a week for them to turn them around. Funny that anyway, these glasses with insurance would be almost $1,000, and as a 50 plus year glasses wearer, I'm 56, started wearing glasses when I was 6. I can tell you the difference between the really expensive lenses, which I had, and these even more expensive lenses is significant and immediately noticeable. While it was a pain in the ass and I'm still agitated from having to drive back and forth to Portland twice in the last month to deal with it, I live 3 hours south of Portland now, so 6 hours total both ways. Jesus. In the end, I'm $2,000 ahead of the game, and the scratch on the second pair of glasses isn't so bad that they're not functional. The original glasses are trash, and I can't even donate them because the lenses are so distorted from the damage that was done. So I guess it's nothing else. I have an extra pair of Ray-Ban frames. It shouldn't have come to all that. And between now and the next time I have to get glasses, I have to do some serious thinking about whether my 40-plus year relationship with LensCrafters is over, or if they deserve another chance after making me whole. Right now, I'm on the fence, leaning towards moving on. What's the advice that you need? I feel like you did everything. You got $2,000 worth of shit. They made you whole. You emailed the regional people. I feel like this is just a flex that you was able to get a bunch of nice free glasses by complaining.
Come on through, Karen. Live up to your name.
Yeah.
Cause that's what I would have did.
Is the advice on whether you should go back?
Yeah, that might be the question.
I mean, nigga, you know better than me. You're the one that just got the free glasses. Like, teach me your ways, sensei. I don't know how to do any of this. I would have just been home with some scratch glasses. Like, damn, I guess they messed my glasses up this year. We'll get them in 2 years when they pay for frames again on my insurance. That's it. So, congrats. I guess I don't know. I feel like if they did what they could to make you whole, maybe you go back. But right. I don't know. You live 3 hours away. You ain't got to close a glass shop. Man, I got more questions than answers. Good luck.
I'm glad you enjoyed them good glasses.
Miss Smart says, hey, Karen, hey, Rod. JL's John Bernthal impression made me remember a night in 2019 when he may or may not have sponsored an evening for me and my friend. Good thing my cloud photos, videos back to 2005 so y'all can help settle this. What do y'all think? JB Live and In the Flesh or Memorex? You can show the chat the pics too. I included the story of how we went from across the bar to homie for the evening, which is readable on our show. So I think she said she saw this dude and he looked like John Bernthal to her, and she thought maybe John Bernthal had paid for their drinks and shit for one night, and she took pictures of them. Here's the pictures. That's him from the side, and that's him from the front. I don't think that looked like John Bernthal, not to me. They're just like a regular white person. I feel like John got a different look. But I don't know. Maybe he looked different without makeup. I would have to hear him talk. Did he order the drinks like, here, y'all, the drinks? I would have to
hear him talk.
Yeah. What's he doing? You think you want some? You think you want some margaritas? Is it said like that? Long story short, he was across the bar occasionally looking over it. Longer than a glance, I thought I might know him and did a head motion for him to come to our side. He did, and the bartender moved all the stuff. But before all of this, when I told my friend Miss A he looked like John, we checked online for a reason to be in town and found nothing. We were an odd collection, him, me, and my white mid to later age friend. Swapping stories, interests, etc. He was a good time, but didn't give John as his name, and we didn't ask his profession because that's rude. Playing guitar, living out west, and visiting local family where he was raised wasn't definitive either way. He paid the bill with cash, ATM fresh $100 bills. Something common for folks around here. We all left together, exchanging goodbyes, and he disappeared. I don't think it's John Bernthal, but I don't know.
You never know.
I'm famous. Right? I famously do not know these mostly white women. I can't tell apart that are famous white women.
I feel oblivious.
But that's more like Hollywood's fault, not mine. Anyway, I don't have anything to add. Just other than that, to me, he don't look like John Bernthal. What a week. Celeste says, hi, Rod and Karen. Before going to any politics that we get mad, I have a random question for your parents in their garden. Have they encountered new issues that they think are related to climate change and patterns being different? I'm in the Northwest of PA and do raised beds in my backyard, and things are definitely different. I wonder if people who are more master gardeners, like it sounds like your parents, are adjusting and how to get and spread that knowledge. It feels like good community building experience. I don't know.
I don't know. They don't do well. Some of that stuff is raised. Most of that stuff is in the ground.
I mean, I'm sure there's effects, but I'm just saying I don't know. They'd have to answer that.
Yeah, they would have to answer that.
Episode 3140. Boy, did I agree with what you're saying about accountability for the mis and disinformation that not just entertainers but anyone in a position of authority. One thing I think the Black community has to take into account is for us to do better. How do we interpersonally let people know that their hot takes cause harm? Their disengagement is directly correlated to not voting or voting for that evil man. It's not just the left and white people who have a hard time admitting they were wrong. The only Black man I've seen do it well recently is D.L. Hughley, and I appreciate it. His apology was as loud as the public as his foolishness. Even recently, I saw him publicly apologize the harm he did and ask himself why he did that. I know last summer I went outside of my comfort zone and really tried to talk to people both privately and volunteering for the campaign and really try to dispel the misinformation. And frankly, the made up reasons they would tell you when I could see the text bubble above their heads that said, oh, she's Black and a woman is the real reason. The DC situation is both scary and not new. One thing I have not seen mentioned much is that states have always amassed police, SWAT, military to address what they feel are out-of-pocket Black people, even in the modern era after Mike Brown, Freddie Gray, etc. So it's interesting that what I see is Black people are pissed but not surprised and navigating as we have had to before. Why it's gotten to this point and why white people aren't bringing the revolution is right. That's funny. Is they collectively have a reaction to seeing the state punish and limit Black people is normal and they justify it must be a reason. Yeah, but even if it was white people, they not going to bring the revolution. I'm going to tell y'all right now, if you're waiting on these white folks to live up to their promise of the liberal weaponized revolution where they fight back against the authoritarian, you're gonna just die holding your breath because these motherfuckers are not coming. They're not who they think they are.
Right.
This is what they say to justify not being politically involved and doing this easiest fucking thing on the earth, which is going to fucking vote, especially for them who aren't having their vote suppressed. They aren't having their voter ID checked and all this type of shit. They're not having the rules changed in their local districts to where they have to stand in hours long lines to vote and shit. They have it. The mode is on fucking rookie mode for them. And they're the ones like, nah, we're going to go get guns and run up on these tanks. That's what'll happen if they keep cracking down. It's like, they're not coming. It wouldn't matter if they crack down on the whitest white town in America. These motherfuckers are not going to get off their couches.
Right.
It's likely the text bubble above their heads also reads, these people couldn't be me, so here we are as they are going to expand. Yeah, I just don't think, I mean, look, maybe there's some Black people that's expecting white folks to be moved by this DC crackdown thing. I don't think, I can't imagine who them Black folks are that think white folks is, like, this isn't even a gotcha to me. I'm like, yeah, the white folks would never come to save the DC from the military. It's likely my city is on the list with a Black woman mayor and our governor is underwhelming, but we will have to deal with it when it happens here. Yeah, what's interesting about the military thing is it's so obvious. It's such an obvious psychological attack because like we had a person get shot by police here, and then there was like an uprising or what the conflict with the police on North Charlotte, and suddenly they brought in like National Guard for a week or two or something. I forget how long they were here, but I remember driving downtown and you just see like a fucking soldier on the corner, two soldiers just standing around doing shit like, and there's no reason for them to do anything. They didn't sign up for the National Guard so they could police America. They're not cops. They don't want to kill a US citizen more than likely.
Right.
And so it was more psychological to be like, damn, they got a tank on fucking 4th Street. That's what it was. It wasn't I never felt truly in danger. Like they're going to start running up in people's cribs and doing stuff to us. It was more like it was a statement from the Trump administration or whoever was in charge, the city or the government. It was like a statement, like, you know, like, hey, this is our shit. You don't really own this shit. We tell you what to do. Don't fuck around. You're gonna find out. So I don't know if we're truly at an inflection point where it's like, I forget what college that was, but during Vietnam where they shot up some kids on campus that were protesters. We might get there. I don't know if this is it yet though, but either way, it's just the psychological part of it is just fucking unrelenting because you're just thinking about this as a black person, and then they want you thinking about this, even if it doesn't really affect your day-to-day, meaning you should be able to still go to work like normal. Like 99% of people that live there will probably not truly have a life-changing interaction in any way with these people, but it's something. It's going on the subway in New York and there's fucking guys with long guns, and you're just like, I don't know. It's something.
Right.
It's something. Am I gonna not take the subway? No, I'm gonna take the subway. I don't expect the guy to just fucking shoot me for taking the subway, but there's an implication there. There's a threat there that's not needed. There's some sort of implication of like, we will impose order upon you. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm glad that for what Governor Dinner Party is doing, I'm annoyed at all the people online that have been demanding a response and then doing what they did to Kamala and Biden, damning with fake praise. This is good. This is good. B, he's horrible. As soon as he messes up, we're dropping him, etc. Yeah, they're gonna do that to Gavin Newsom at some point. I'm not getting excited about it either way. Like I said, I think the most important thing I can say about him and everybody, whoever the Democratic Party puts forward, I will vote for president, because I definitely understand that the Republican Party is not even trying at this point, and
they're not trying to govern. They ain't trying to do shit.
And there's no misgiving on the left that I can have that I truly could not get over to avoid more of what we're going through right now. So
agreed.
So I don't want to. And hopefully I can keep up this mentality, because I don't want to spend the next 4 years nitpicking and banging on these candidates. I truly don't. I would like to be the example that I'm talking about when I'm like, yo, we got to like stop fucking nitpicking these fucking candidates to death, fucking up all their goodwill, and then being like, why did they lose? I mean, we only spent 4 years saying how they're not perfect. How did they lose? Wow, that's crazy.
Right.
I don't want to be part of the problem. So, and look, you guys are going to have your gripes with each one of these people. You feel free to write up here. If you want to defend them or go in, I guess that's fine. But I don't want to be this person. Unless there's just somebody so egregious or something, or we get to the I think in the primaries you could be a little picky if you want to.
Yes.
That's what primaries are for. But we're so far away from that.
Right.
Like, I just hope Buddy can do the stuff he's saying he's doing, because and it's not for me. I feel like if it's more for him that I'm saying I hope he can deliver, him and Hawkul or whatever. Like, you're gonna need to deliver on these promises, because people they're looking at y'all for hope, and you're giving them hope, And if you come back and go, guys, actually, we looked at it and the redistricting thing, it wouldn't work. We wouldn't get enough seats.
They're not going to.
These people are going to be weird, not even weirdly. They're going to be very intensely pissed.
Right.
It's like, what the fuck? You said. Now, Texas did what they did and then y'all didn't do shit. That's what they're going to say. So I just hope they're not tweeting and talking for Twitter. I hope they're actually going to do it if they're going to do it.
I 100% agree. And I think for me, I dismiss a lot of the complainers. The biggest reason why I dismissed it is because when Joe Biden ran to get elected, there was every candidate underneath the rainbow. Every fucking thing that y'all claimed y'all wanted. There was the black woman, there was the gays, like everything that y'all wanted underneath the goddamn sun ran. You talked yourself out of everything and ended up getting an old white man, ended up getting pissed, and then talk about why isn't there any diversity. The time for the diversity was when you had all these open candidates. You can't look me in my eye and tell me there's something wrong with the gays, but we want a gay president. There's something wrong with the black woman, but we want a black woman president. There's something wrong with this. There's something wrong with that. But you fucking nitpicked every goddamn body. Y'all did this, not me. Y'all the masses. Because and the thing is, you're lying to me because a lot of y'all didn't vote. Because if you voted, because let the internet tell me Joe Biden shouldn't have won. That's what the internet told me. Roger's mom and daddy said it's gonna be goddamn Joe Biden. So y'all niggas don't know what y'all are talking about. These are facts. So my opinion, when it comes to this, just get me to the place where it's time to fucking vote. Everything else prior to that, you're wasting my time. Y'all arguing for argument's sakes. I think a lot of people, this is fucking sports to them. This is their jam. They love the political time of the year. They love to pull out their pom-poms. They love to tweet online. They love to, like a lot of people really, and I've realized this, I don't care. But a lot of people, they got to have the charades. They got to have the party. They got to have the fanfare. They like that is their motherfucking jam. And I fucking get it. I don't care. What matters to me is when it's time to vote. That's what matters to me. Everything else before that is wasting my motherfucking time. I don't care.
Like, everyone get a fucking grip. Eyes on the larger goal. We are trying to stop this cancer from growing and hopefully one day shrink. It's so small it's hardly noticeable. At least try to restabilize when it was smaller. Those cancer cells have been there since the beginning. We never had existence without them and never will have a future where they don't exist either. Trying to ignore it and be in denial, only let it explode, and trying to reason with it doesn't work. You have to treat it. Anyway, take care. Here's a picture from one of my garden beds. What I'll say to that is I would not even participate in going back and forth about Gavin Newsom with anybody right now. I just don't think it's worth it. He may or may not even be an issue he has 3 years to go to even be whatever he thinks he wants to be. And if we've seen anything in this political landscape, it is fraught with twists and turns, and we really do not know who or what is going to pop up. So I just wouldn't really, like, I'm not going to spend any time arguing with people that love him or hate him. Good luck to him, and see him in 4 years if he's able to do it. If more, there's no guarantee. So that's what I would do, man. I would not that's the way I put it this way. That's where I'm at in my life right now. None of this shit is bothering me. People, because they do shit like beg Obama to speak, and then Obama says something, they get mad at how he said it, what he said, why he said it.
Yep.
Some of the stuff you just got to be like, yeah, y'all are unhappy, and good luck with that.
Good luck.
I hope you figure it out when it's time. By the time it's time to vote, because and there's gonna be midterms, there's gonna be off-cycle elections. There's a bunch of shit happening right now. We got a local primary stuff coming up now. Like the people that still think it's like the national part is like what Karen said. It's like sports for them or something. Because to me, the national who's the next Democratic presidential candidate thing is so far in the future. I can't imagine going back and forth about that shit right now. That's to me crazy, and so I can't get mad about it because it's like whatever. If you root for him, fine. If you don't, who cares?
Right. And the thing is, you know, with all that, vote. Like, you know, people talk, but vote, and the votes is the thing that matters to me. And if your candidate don't get enough votes, that's the end. Like, not trying to funny. I don't want to hear none of this Bernie Sanders. They stole no bitch. Nobody stole shit. You fucking lost. And now it's time to support whoever the other candidate is. But also the people who support a candidate, their candidate don't win. All of a sudden they want to defect from the fucking team. I have a problem with that too, bitch. You're part of the problem too. It don't matter. We're all on the same team. That's the point of having the openness so that we can narrow it down.
All right, y'all. With that note, that's it. We'll be back tomorrow. Brandon Collins will be the guest. He's starting a new show called What the Film. We'll be talking to him about that.
Yay!
And yeah, until next time, I love you.
I love you too. Mwah.
Bye, everybody. Have a good rest of your